That was really cool. I can watch it up here, and it's really cool how it like expands into it. Okay. Oh, neato. Last session, the party. Welcome everybody. Last session, the party did a teleportation circle from within, I believe it was Waterdeep, after negotiating with the Thans for their support. And you guys bamfed to the city of Elturel. Zesus and Cliff described um, what I'll call the Helm's Shield Hall to to Epione.
Epione.
Yep, and you guys bamfed there real quick, and you arrived um, inside. As soon as I begin this, you inside this very ornate, gorgeous cathedral that's kind of empty, and it looks like it hadn't been. It's not used as much as maybe the first El Terrellian church on First Division Street in El Terrell proper, but this one doesn't have as many as big as a congregation. Uh, the overall premise of this is all the forces of Faerun are beginning to gather for the final fight um, towards for Tiamat. You guys were the last units kind of leaving Waterdeep, and now you've bamped way forward, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles towards El Terrell, so you're kind of ahead of them. So when you arrive there, uh, you guys pop out, and what I can describe is like this really it's it's nighttime, but the light of this of the companion, and you guys have seen this before. Some of you have seen it before. Is this orb that's over top of Elturel, and you don't know the total lore about it. You just know that Elturel is this holy city, and there just happens to be this undead floodlight that's above the city, and it just like it. All you know is that it banishes undead, and undead just are not a fan of it. From when you guys show up into the church, I told you the pews kind of scattered, and there's a circle around you, and it dissipates. You're all standing there, holding hands, or within whatever we decide. No, it's planar shift. You guys are all in this 10-foot circle, and as you look around you, there's these blue, reddish, dark stained glass windows around you, and they're almost like 60, 70 feet high. And there's a big, rose mirror as well, and you can see the light of the companion coming through it. When you look through this big rose mirror, you can see like a picture of this full plate mailed female paladin with these big wings, and she's got this bright sword. There's the scales of justice behind her, and she's riding a golden mammoth. Um, in one huge stained glass window, you can look over and you see all of these knights and these lances, and they look like they're charging into this open portal that appears to be hell. And yeah, you look off to another one you see, which kind of look like something familiar. You've walked through this before in Horde of the Dragon Queen, the Fields of the Dead. You see, these same uh, horsed knights, cavalry, horsed knights. I think cavalry. Let's use big boy words with lances. So let's just upgrade that. We'll call them lancers. Anyway, so they're full plate with lances, and they're stabbing various fiends and devils in the fields of dead. So you're kind of looking around, and you're just like, oh, this is a really cool cathedral. And Zesus and Cliff reminds you that this is Helm's Shield Hall. It's a temple within a fortress in the high district of Elturel. In it, right outside is what's called like the High Gardens. But you bamp in there, and various acolytes kind of walk by, and kind of scatter, uh, and a a priest walks up to you,
Tim,
just
Tim,
kind of standing there.
quick question.
Yeah.
Obviously, we knew about the Eterel's Guardian or Orb or whatever we calling it before we got here, because we've been here before, saying that it obviously repels or gets rid of undead and all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna, as soon as we get there, I'm gonna look at Manu
Okay.
and just see if there's any effect
Oh,
on
yes.
his stuff.
Okay.
Because obviously, I know that his eye is. We've had that discussion that it's part of
Yeah.
an old lich. I know liches are undead,
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to see if this would suppress that or
Yeah.
something, or will it even cause him some pain? And obviously, he's your mate. I want to make sure he's all right.
Yeah, so Manu, as you get in there, you instantly the eye that you have is like it's like squinted.
Yeah.
You're not sure what's going on, but it's not. It's more. It's like blurry. It doesn't. It's not reacting well. It's not in its happy place. That's for sure. But other than that, you can see out of it, you know, but not very far. Your good eye is normal, but your other eye, you're having issues with, um, you haven't tried using it, for all of its capabilities, but you kind of get the idea that a little bit
It's being
would be
suppressed,
suppressed or
whatever
weakened.
it is.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
I'm trying to
exactly.
see if it would also if it will make a difference in terms of. So obviously, it had a negative effect on us in terms of sleeping. We felt a bit uneasy around it. Does that? Do we feel any better with that at the moment?
Uh, yes, yep, you do, and the companion's pretty strong, and yes, you do feel like this is the kind of the first time in a while that you haven't been very keyed up.
I turn to Manu and go, "You all right?"
Yeah, I'm good, bro. What's up?
Just making sure that. Well, just want to make sure that now you're here with your new found eye. That you're not. This is the first time that we potentially. I actually feel quite good now.
It's
Energized.
not causing you any pain or anything like that, Manu. It's just not. Looks like the power that is here is kind of.
So, is
Uh,
it? Did when I say it doesn't have a mind of its own, like, because you say it moves on its own,
it can, yeah, it can
but
sometimes. If
do
if you're
I?
staring at it, it'll like focus on you. So like imagine that it knows it's pretty. You know what I mean? It's got a sentient. It's got,
Not
I
sentience,
want
but
to say,
it's
a very loose sentience to it, where it is getting ahead of you if it needs to get, if somebody's reading you, if someone's trying to stare at it, it begins to start reading back at it. And then you'll just kind of like focus that down and just be like,
but do I have control over its movement aside from that?
yep,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's just a little bit of coolness to
yeah,
go with
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't 100% sure if like
Yeah, you're
I
not
put it
all
in and it
like,
just like
"Ugh." Yeah, you're not all wall-eyed and stuff like that all the time. But
One of
every
the key
once in a
things.
while, if someone, hmm?
Yeah. One of the key things I'm asking Manu really is. This is the first time I've talked to him, as far as I'm aware now, since he's had the eye. That we don't. That the eye is diminished slightly. I just want to make sure that Manu is the same person with when he's out of this sort of to make sure there's been no sort of obviously I trust Guy. I'm just being paranoid because that's my job.
I'm good,
But
Connor.
I'm well, we need you at full strength. This is about the shit's about to get real.
Well, thank goodness I've got those 12 temp hit points.
Hey, 10 hit points are always good.
You notice that there's also in here, behind the altar, this is where there's a really big stained glass window of a paladin, full plate mail. Well, yeah, just a full plate mail, full great helm, large sword, kind of like looks down, and there's a bit of like, you know, sun coming off the helm, and you get the idea that this is a cathedral primarily for helm. Other than that, you are slowly being approached by an acolyte. Just in terms of someone's about to ask you where you guys are at, or what you're doing. So you have the initiative or the surprise of, if you wanted to put a bolt through her head, or hey, hi. You know, that's what.
I will let the paladin deal with it.
Okay. You recognize this acolyte. Her name is Martina, and she's one of the many. She's like the night shift cleric, kind of, that's in here when you know that she's worked up to, some sort of status within within this church, where she's like the evening manager. She walks up and she begins to recognize you, and she's like, Sir Zesis, uh, she's always got this like weird sympathetic cough going on all the time. She's like, how can I help you? So it's her. It's like, how, Thesis and Cliff. Oh my.
Hello, Martina. We're here, and we're just in Waterdeep, and we're here getting ahead of the army that is heading to defeat Tiamat.
Okay.
Is there anything that you've come across that you know of? In
She's
relation
like,
to
it's been very busy lately. The Flaming Fist have arrived. Uh, she's like, they've been coming in throughout the week. Most of the main army of Neverwinter and the Lord's Alliance have arrived. We're just waiting on, the rear guard. Several dragons are here. There's a bronze dragon that has been staying here, helping us with the dragon incursions. So she's like, other than that, there's a lot of tension. We've been holding out. One of our western, God, I can never sword coast. One of our easternmost keeps just fell with it. Like imagine a Siligoth. What is it? Lord of the Rings, like that bastion. Like now we're back at the minus Tirith mode. So one of our keeps that are to the west was finally abandoned only a few nights ago. So the dragon incursions are getting a little bit stronger here at El Terrell, but our large ballistas and things like that have been able to keep them at bay. Other than that, most of the councils are being held at the High Hall. She kind of looks around and shows you that it's empty. There's usually more candles lit, but it doesn't look as busy. She's like, we're trying to transition the cathedral into a barracks as the rest of the armies arrive. Like most people up here in the High District are clearing out. It's where the nobility live.
Okay, and who's in charge of the city at this time?
Well, as always, the Creed Resolute and Fabius Krieg himself.
Okay,
She seems very like when she says Fabius Creed, she's like, that about 80, 60 some years ago, there was a huge issue with like undead and there was a vampire in Fabius Krieg, what is the one who made some big clerical move to have the companion arrive and scare off the vampires and stuff.
and
And
so
that's kind of
the meetings are happening in the High Hall, and I think we should probably try to get to the High Hall.
yeah. So you are probably you're at your level, you're probably the highest chain of command of the Hell Riders right now. So like you arriving is just like, yeah, Sergeant Major's back. Like yeah, it's whatever you guys want to do, and they see Henry there, and they nod and kind of bow to a higher level lawful good priest and
So,
ask
so
you if you need anything.
before we go anywhere, I will walk over to the collection basket in the cathedral and tithe my 10% as a Hell Rider, and
All
so
right, all right. It goes bling. All right, all right.
One up, bling.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't feel uneasy or anything here, Manu. It's just your eye is not like functioning, and you do know that if you were to try to go full warlock right now, like you would, it would not. You're just this is the opposite of where you know what I mean. Like a Pact of the Fiend would roll around. This is pretty holy.
Yeah, I'll just shake my head a little bit and make my way out the door.
I'm following Manu.
Okay.
Yep. So
Good to see y'all.
I,
I'm out.
Side. Okay. Okay.
I guess the whole party can leave uh, the church at this time.
Yeah, so you guys walk out the door like you know, the doors open up and it's probably, I don't know, we'll say 10:30 in the evening and you look up and there's stars everywhere, right? Like but yet there it is. There's this orb above the city and it is like there's like a daylight coming down. So it's dark, but it's not, you know, kind of ooh, I almost said kind of situation, but I did. So you see the orb, and it's making the town all pretty in sunlight. So there's a tall square keep, right? That's almost higher. It's higher than the cathedral. So it was built. This square keep was built around the rectangular cathedral, and you can tell that the only thing that gets out of the top of the keep itself is this steel spire, you know, you know that peaks to the top and has a symbol of of Helm. Uh, there's four courtyards and four gardens around this rectangular cathedral, and each one has a various reliquary towards Helm that you're very familiar with, Zesus. You look over, and along the rectangular sides of it are is where like the garrison trains. There's your various like that weird looking dummy that spins when you hit it with a lance, and on the other side is, you know, you call him Dave the punching bag that you as a young lad, you know, Dave the punching bag was pretty tough, and it's got a smiley face on it with its eye poked out. And then, you know, they stuff it full of hay ever so often if you're, you know, if you're a cadet hell rider. Um, Nobody really in there. You notice that along, you know, one of the walls as well are the very ornate stables of the maybe 1 to 200 Hell Riders that are left. It's not very popular. It used to be Hell Riders used to be very popular, but now it's the Order of the Companion. The Order of the Companion is new hotness in El Terrell. Uh, as you guys, you know, are you continuing out or so that's what the outside of the cathedral looks like. You walk into another deep uh it feels like cavernous. What am I missing?
So, do we know what the light is
That's big.
that's holding Elturel and keeping away the undead?
Yeah, go ahead. You can roll for religion check or something like that. I mean, I no, you're from here. You're from here, buddy. So like that's the companion. The companion arrived. Fabius Krieg is one of the he was a high cleric, high priest at one point in time, and he came into power when a vampire arrived and wrought. So imagine the Hell Riders were all gone all of a sudden, and then there was a brief period, couple decades or whatever, where the town was had a bit of a weakness because the Hell Riders were gone. Well, some darkness arrived. Fabius Creed, after you know 10 years or so, we'll say, put this down by um, you know, contacting a celestial or something, contacting, you know, he prayed to, I believe it was Torm. We'll say Torm, uh, and whammy, you know, the companions showed up, and it just burst with energy and scared off all the undead, and annihilated the vampire and all sorts of stuff like that. So you know that like to you, Elturel is always holy. Elturel will always be taken care of. Elturel will never fall. You know, there's always paladins that will stand up to fight for the righteousness. There's two things that are powerful here. So Elturel is itself a holy city. The highest order for all of Faerun is the Order of Gauntlet for paladins, right? Underneath there, there's like subcontractors or whatnot. There's like the Order of the Companion, the Hell Riders, and things like that. To be the overarching, paladins of the realm, it's the Order of the Gauntlet, and you know that one of the headquarters of the Order of the Gauntlet is also here. There's like an ambassador, and that's Anthar Frume. Don't worry about that stuff. You can always get caught up in it. But as you walk outside, know the portcullis opens up, very helmish. Very fortress like, very secure. When you think of helm, you think of a tank, right? So this big portcullis opens up, and you guys kind of walk outside into this. You can see it. It's this, imagine what's it, Central Park, where this long, 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 like rectangular garden. It's got various flowers and stuff like that. It's not something that is groomed like Versailles or Fontainebleau or anything like that. It's it's got trees and stuff, and it naturally, has the natural wildflowers and stuff like that are in there. So it's just a big open space. You're used to taking your horses out there ever so often and stuff, but it naturally, like, despite the fact that you could practice with your horses, it just grows back. It's just a really, the druids and stuff like that take care of it, that are multi-class in the cleric. I don't know. They make it great. Uh, it's rowed on either side, with the nobility or the upper class of Elturel. You're up on a pretty predominant hill, and you know that the only entrance to the high portion of the city are these two particular bridges that go down into the dock district, where the lowerish class kind of work, and their job is bringing in various goods on I think it's the Chonthar River, whatever the river starts with the C. Uh, that's where they make their business. The folks up top are the ones that these businesses. There are bars, there are things like that along this long stretch, and you can kind of see it on the map there, the big green area, and then there's the large hill. Uh, it's pretty sleepy right now. It's got an Alaskan energy to it right now, where everybody's kind of zonked out presently. So not a lot of bustling activity. You do see various platoons and things like that are arriving, in various torches and stuff like that. If you were to look across the way, you'll see some people walking and getting ready to bed down for the evening. But pretty quiet at the time. There are various lights that are up and on, and then to the north you see, to the south, another hill predominantly is the High Hall. The High Hall has got, beautiful walls around it with very high spires, and then you can see a massive cathedral as well within it. So it's another fortress and a cathedral kind of thing, but this one is letting you see the cathedral itself. So it's definitely letting you know, yep, it's a fortress, but this is where you go to church.
So, do you guys want to go see what's happening at the High Hall, or do you want to go find a inn and see if we can find a place to get some food and some drink and sleep for the night?
It's quite late, to be honest. We've got a head start on everybody else. We just need to make sure that we've used the time wisely that we've got. So obviously, going from what we said last week, before we got here, be nice to get some, see what sort of resources are here before the army turn up, just in case we need anything. Because once they turn up, these shops are empty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yep. So that's you've got that. You realize the Flaming Fist just arrived, and they're under orders, but you do get the feeling that once they get cut loose, yes, they will gobble things up. Uh, they're not up here though. They're probably down in the dock district. Um, but they're
so what
using a
time of
lot of
day?
this. Go
What
ahead.
time of day is it at the moment? And our shop's open.
It's 10:30. The light is up.
Is that ten
So
thirty in the morning or 10:30 in the evening?
in the evening, 10:30 in the
Yeah.
evening.
Well, I know there's an inn down at the end of the garden where Frume likes to hang out.
The Black Antler.
That place.
So Zesis, So Zesis, you would immediately, let him know that, like, unfortunately, Thavius Krieg does not allow inns and bars to be in the same place. The Antler is a bar. He separated inns and bar. There was something. So they all, but you do know that, like, just down the street from there is Fontry's Unicorn, which is an inn that's closest. That's the closest one. I wanted to throw that piece of lore in there because I thought that was interesting. It's the only place where they don't allow inns and bars to be in the same place, but they pass out in the bar anyway. Anyways.
Well, I'll sleep out here in the garden just to keep you guys.
Well, no, I think
You,
actually, from your obviously with the aura coming down, I think I feel quite good around you at the moment.
I sleep outside anyways.
You don't sleep outside. You've got your home on your back.
True. This is true. As I twirl my mustache.
I'm sure we could find you a puddle to chill out in.
Can we make a puddle?
tell your wife that Kim Tillman says hi. Thanks.
Oh, hey, hello. Are they here? Are they there right now?
I mean, they were, but she wanted me to let her know the next time we were playing. Okay. So, uh,
How about we go to the bar, have a little
okay.
nightcap,
Okay.
and make sure we get up first thing in the morning to get to the shops before the Flaming Fist wreck the place.
So it's at the if you head off if you're walking along and you're heading to the north, there's a bridge and it's on the opposite side of the bridge, like right there. So you do come off. It's like a bridge. I don't know. The way El Terrell is described baffles me because it's up on a hill, but yet there's a bridge. It says it's crossing a chasm. So just there's a little bit of gray area with the actual um, terrain. So, anyways, there's a bridge. There's a bridge stairs that go down, and on the other side is the what's it called? The twin black antlers.
The black antler.
A pair of black antlers. That's right. So, like, there it is. You see it drawn on the side of the little board, thing that swings. And you hear, like, just like it is booming in there. So as you guys are walking up to it, like, you hear music and banging, and, like, it's 10:30. It's not too late, and it's a bunch of soldiers are arriving in the storming norming forming of the cogs laddering. So everybody is just, like, getting after it. You can see as you walk up that people are bringing barrels to this thing, and, like, they're running out of booze, like, really fast.
I look to Manu and go, "Not tonight, mate."
I'd say it's up to Frume.
Just,
It's going to be up to Frume.
why is it up to Freemo? Why can't you control what you're doing?
Oh yeah, remember the drinking contest? I remember that now. That was a part of the
Like, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be up to Frume, Connor. You'll see.
So, do we have to stage a frontervention here?
Who?
Yes.
A frontervention? An intervention? With a friend?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so I'd like to do a wisdom check. First, looking at the orb as the cleric, who put it there? And why can't we have one of those over?
All you know is that a desperate divine intervention moment occurred with a very high priest named Fabius Krieg, who you are familiar with as well in the big, he's in Time magazine, Faerun Time magazine, was Fabius Krieg one day with his big with two thumbs up in
Hat.
this sunlight. You know that yeah, it buggered off a bunch of undead long ago. But it's not something you can just, you know, you're not a Torm guy. Tyr does other things. Torm did this.
Okay. And the next question would be companions. You said the Hell Riders are slightly done, or they're not as.
Yeah. What was your religion check?
I'm. One sec. Why do I keep forgetting where this shit's at?
It's okay. I was talking a lot, anyways.
Fuck, I'm at a 12 right now.
Okay. So you do know that the Hell Riders, they're not. They lost their status pretty bad. You know that the story is that they went down with Zariel and they lost. You're not sure what happened, but a guy came back named Jandar, and you just know that the Hell Riders were basically destroyed. A bunch of bad things because of this decision to go to Hell. Elturel became weakened. The Fields of the Dead and things like that, took advantage of that. And this guy Fabius Krieg, was as the pendulum swings in politics, kind of showed up and saved the day. And with this Creed Resolute that you have to that there's a Creed Resolute, and then everybody has to say it in order to be a companion. Like everybody, if you want to live in Elturel, you have to
Pledge your allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the Creed Resolute inside the High Hall. That's all. That's all you know. It's just something along those lines. That's the basic kind of lore that you would get to without getting, on a 12.
And that doesn't. Do I know if that affects me as a Tyr kind of guy?
No, you're awesome. They're like right over there is the Tyr Torm, the main. So this is Paladin land. This is Cleric land. Elturel is your joint. You are received very well here. They know you. Henry is probably one of the most popular clerics out there. So yeah, you're in good standing.
Okay. If we're gonna make the call to bed down for the night, or stage the intervention between Manu, whatever the case may be, I will end up peeking my nose into my to see my people belong.
Why do I need an intervention?
Just saying.
The fact that you don't know the reason why. Yeah. The fact that you don't know the reason why is why you need a friend's intervention.
Yeah.
You do know that there is a place here that's very amongst all the places in the land, right? So if you're a Zentarum guy, there's probably a really cool place in Waterdeep to go to. As a priest, you know that here is the Palace of Justice, and this is one of those things that you want to go see Disney once in your life. This is probably one of the times you want to go into the Palace of Justice and give a thumbs up to Tyr.
Okay, I'm down. I wanna make my way to do that. I'll let my intention be known to the party. Also, I want to kind of dig into, search out what the successes they're having here is when it comes to the dragons, and kind of try and find my way into the planning in the inner circle, how they're doing business. Does that make sense?
Okay, so just so you know, the Palace of Justice is inside the High Hall.
Okay.
It's in the opposite direction. If you wanna turn around and head to the Palace of Justice, it's within. So as opposed to the Hell Riders fortress being on the other end, so there's some stuff. It is the keep that's at the end, the northernmost portion of this green field, and then it seems to be that like Lathander and Helm and Torm or not Helm, Tyr are inside the High Hall itself. So the Palace of Justice is just another keep inside. It's like one of the bastions in there, and it's got like a little temple in there. You can tell. I mean, as a tier guy, that that's probably where people go to court and things like that. Like there might be, like some people and gallows and you know what I mean, like some justice things happen there. But yeah,
Some aqua lady versus some pirate in court. So,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna make my intentions known. I'm gonna go see my people, and
Okay.
I'll let these guys do their part, and then we'll circle back around to me when it's my time.
For like the first time in forever, as you're like walking around, as you walk up the street, people will stop and like bow formally to you as a priest. You know what I mean? Like this is the deep south you know what I mean, of like you're you're in your your zone here. Uh, okay. Manu, just gonna turtle up, or are you going to the Black Antlers?
I'm going inside the Black Antler.
Okay. Connor and Cesis, you going in there as well?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Manu.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
follow.
Okay. Okay. So you guys, you guys hear the sounds of the Black Antler, and you walk in, and it's pretty standing room only.
Yeah,
As you get in there.
Tim, just obviously because I know this is like, if you're a knight in shining armor, this is kind of the place you want to be.
Yeah.
That's obviously not Connor. Just putting that out there a little bit.
As
He
soon as you
might
walk
not
in
be.
there, you see three Eldritch Knights like
Oh, okay.
hanging out in there as well. So that you instantly recognize that the Eldritch Knights have arrived as well. They're drinking wine, you know what I mean, and like looking at these idiots getting drunk and stuff like that. But they're kind of off to the side. It's very eclectic group of folks in there.
Okay, I'll go and just sort of appear next to the Eldritch Knights
Okay.
with a round of drinks for them and say, "Here you go, guys. See you later." Just to see if obviously they'll recognise me. I'm just giving them a drink and then disappearing as a good commanding officer should.
They give
Let them
you
enjoy themselves,
the hearty salute. I wrote
and
it
then I go back.
down.
And then
I
I go
wrote it
back
down.
to
I did it again. I cannot remember Melandrak's son's name. I
Arganathor.
wrote.
just call him Melandric's son. There we go. Let's go
Yeah.
from there.
Oh, I wanted to. I literally looked at it yesterday. Alagarthas? Alagarthas, I think. If I got that right from a poll, Alagarthas, I think his name is.
That'll
But
do for now.
anyways, they recognized you, and they nod. They don't say much. They say they're very fancy French, or like bon oui, sir, bon oui.
Hey, that was
That's
correct.
right. That's right.
And
The
I've got
elves
them.
here are French.
Yeah, that's fine. And
Deal with it.
I've got them a really nice bottle of Elven wine. Okay, and I'll give it to
Okay, yeah.
them for
It's
their.
Chateau Bordeaux. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. All right, we have digressed. All right, so, uh, yep. So they're standing tall. They've got long swords, beautiful like plate mail, and classic you know elven helmets as you see in almost every anime and whatnot. And then Manu, as you walk in, you hear like whoa, you see him. He's in the back, big red beard, flowing, red hair, and is the Order of the Gauntlet shield still hanging onto it with a mug and like two swords. He's got a short sword and a long sword off onto his left side, and he's just like singing the old rugby song and this Onthar Frume, and you haven't seen him in a really long time. he's kind of looking around and talking to various folks, but yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. Oh yeah, this is not your joint, is it anymore?
16.
Okay. You do notice that he's talking to two other guys that are like a little bit like taller than him by like a couple inches. You recognize one as being Oldar Ravengard and the other one being Sergeant Knox. So in terms of like the bench press team of of the Sword Coast, like they're all like right there, close talking each other and spitting each other's face and clanking mugs and stuff. And Onthar's got his Frume's got his arm around Sergeant Knox, just kind of like biting at his cheek, and you can see that as you walk up, as like the music's just really bumping.
I'm gonna go order as many mugs of beer as I can carry, like
Two.
Oktoberfest style,
Okay.
like entire
Okay.
like 8.
Yes. Okay. So you order. We'll say you order 8. Just do a strength check.
That's a dirty 20.
30, 20. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, shoot, you hold them all together, and like as you're walking up, um, this guy with teeth like poked up, and he's got full plate on well as well. His plate mail has got like a sword that's flaming, and he goes, "Woo!" Make a dex check.
Dex is +3, 17.
Okay, you're like you tighten it down, and the eye instantly like looks at him and then refocuses again, and you see Boldock, sitting there, and he's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "Take it easy," and he's like, "Can I help you with that?"
Absolutely.
And he just grabs one and doesn't help you with any of the other ones, and just starts chugging it.
I lift all of them up and pour some down my face, and
Yep.
so I was like, "We're going to Frume."
All right, so you guys make it over to Frume, and you hear him, immediately just like, "We're in the presence of Manu," and he kind of like looks around and sees the rest of the party. He sees Connor, and well, you've met Frume, right? In one of the initial councils that nobody attended. Yeah, so I ghosted Connor for that one. Oh, that was back when you were Zentaraming. The last time he met you, he was unhappy that you broed out with a Zentarum. I remember that. But
Oh
things
well.
have gotten way worse since. Doesn't matter. Everybody smokes cigarettes at this point of the war. So, uh, and he nods and he brings in Zesis, and they clear off a table, dead center, right next to the bar. People all around you. I mean, it's paladin energy, so you get the feeling that there's, probably not a spy in the bar.
I am keeping an eye out for spies because
Okay, roll for perception.
My eye is also keeping an eye out for other eyes.
31.
Oof. So you get the feeling instantly that that's what the Eldritch Knights are actually doing here. They're not even drinking. They're just sitting there. They don't trust anybody that's, the paladins and getting hammered. They're just making sure that nobody's spilling too many beans. And they're just like, they'll have just like a sip and kind of set it down. And so you get the sense that as you're doing this perception check, one of them just kind of winks at you like they got this.
I'll just sort of just.
They're like, they give you the hand signal to go ahead and relax.
Does Connor know how to relax? Hang on.
I was just gonna say that. I don't know that Connor knows how to relax.
Yeah. So they sit down and they're like, well, all business aside, it's wonderful to have us all together again, Frume says. And he looks at Oldar with his scars on his face and whatnot, and he's just like, Manu, it's fantastic to have you back. Connor, welcome. Zesus, where's everybody else? Is it just the three of you?
It's just the three of us tonight.
Yeah, you got the Epione, she's off doing Lathander things, and Henry's doing Henry things. So he's like, but you know, well, we'll take what we can get. And they're sipping on drinks and they're talking about someone will walk up every once in a while, hand them a piece of paper, and you can tell it's like a troop movement or a request to steal a stable from somebody or to stay in someone's house, like a warrant to sleep in someone's house, and he kind of passes that back. But they're kind of focused in on setting things down, and Oldar and Frume are kind of arguing over who gets to stay inside the High Hall. That the Flaming Fist are, getting too cramped down in the Dock District.
I'm going to ask Frume about the rumors of Lenathon being in the region and what the.
Oh, he hasn't given up. He's like, he hasn't given up on us. He once a week, Lenathon will come here and test us. Very same tactics as you mentioned in Greenest long ago. He lightning, breath all over a crop on the outside, just really trying to drain us of our resources. If he sees a boat with much needed supplies, he and two or three other dragons will come here and blow the shit out of that boat and then leave. He hasn't made too much of a frontal assault unless he sees us with our backs turned. Yeah, I don't think he wants to take. He's normally just holding off for that last fight. Some of the other dragons, there's a white dragon that shows up ever so often and gets in a scrap with the guys, and then it leaves before it gets too hurt. But yes,
When was the last time?
Has been working in and out of here for a long time.
When was the last time he attacked?
Looks around, talks to Bulldog's like, it was 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
Can't really tell with his son out here.
Gotcha.
And then some guy behind him goes, the Creed Resolute! Woo! He just like takes a drink, and Unthar Frume is just like sycophant and like drinks his beer and sets it down. He's like, the Order of the Companion, they're exhausting.
Who are these companions?
The new paladins, the new hotness of El Terrell. And he looks at him, he's like, Order of the Companion! And like looks at him, he's like, we need everybody we can get.
Are they more like the pretty boys of the paladin rather than the ones that actually know what they're doing?
I mean, they're good paladins. I mean, yeah. They're not. I mean, they're. You can roll for a perception check if you want. Yeah, you can roll for that as you're making an assessment on these guys.
40, 26.
Yeah, they're the sellouts, the ones that want to make the popularity. You know what I mean? The Order of the Companion in this town is like the new cool, so it's more status thing.
So if you had like an average Hell Rider versus an average companion,
yep.
The Hell Rider would be that much better at being good at what he wants. Just might not look as shiny.
Yep, exactly. Hell Riders are, you know what I mean? They're stuck in their craft. They're stuck with Helm. They're stuck with returning to, you know what I mean? Like trying to make their name right. They do the same thing they've always done the same thing. So think of the Hell Riders as the Hospitalars. They're the ones that will patrol the river all the time. They see someone alone, they will dispatch 3 paladins to ride with them to somewhere in Eltegard, to wherever they're at, and leave them. So they keep the roads open. If they see someone that needs care, they'll bring them in. So they always keep them. They keep their fortress outside the business fort. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking Templars, you're thinking tier and things like that. That's kind of like the high, you know what I mean? Like the big budget ones. But the companion guys are it's the easiest way into being in an order, right? So like, go give the Creed Resolute for Thavius Krieg, and you're in. If you're thinking Thavius Krieg on that one, you're thinking like the politician with the, like the politician out from Stranger Things, the guy who was in Princess Bride, the the uh
Harry
who was
Elwes.
yeah, Gary Eloise. It's kind of like
No,
him.
I know what you mean. So they're basically, they're more like the what you'd class as like the royal guards in a more ceremonial than actually effectual.
Yep, exactly, exactly. If they're gonna go arrest somebody, there's like 20 of them that go.
Because they need that many.
Because they're useless. And it
You
looks
could
good.
roll your own
Make a common
perception check.
strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
If
Zeus is
a Hell
kind.
Rider shows up at your door, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like the Mandalorian shows up at your door, and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? You're like, "Burp, okay, means
So what you're saying
business.
is, so what you're saying is Zeus could probably take on their whole order on his own.
But he wouldn't say that. He's there for Elturel. You know what I mean? He's got their back.
So, what kind of Inquisition is Thavius Krieg running right now?
He's running the town, keeping things in order. His big thing is may changed a lot of rules. You know that this is a double. There's a bar upstairs and downstairs because you used to be able to sleep in the old Black Antler, but you can't
Nope.
anymore.
No
So
Winds and Bar.
he's got rules. You know what I mean? Like there's a new cleanliness rule kind of thing, and I don't know. Always, it's a very trying to keep things a lot of order is his deal. Uh, so he rules by rules, right? So like every time there's a problem that comes up, one person shits their pants, everybody wears diapers. Is Fabius Krieg. So you just Hell Riders, they're like, let's just get back to our patrol. Like you guys just work inside El Terrell, kind of tedious. You're just like, ugh. Because there's probably a new tax or something. Or tithe, excuse me. As the church up the hill keeps going, getting bigger and bigger, the jumbotrons get bigger and bigger.
Does it look like any of these Order of the Companion guys need a sparring match?
uh, I
They
mean,
need they need to take the rod out of their own ass, basically.
yeah, I mean, you see dudes like uh, getting. It's classic. Yeah, you'll see a couple. This is their first deployment. Attitudes kind of flaring. Couple guys out there. If that's what you were looking for, piece of cake. You could definitely punk somebody. This is
So are
if you
we
want
sort
to.
of are we referring to them as these would be like the sort of the infantry just arrived type thing, and then the Hell Riders are like the Delta Force type people? That level of expertise difference.
Yeah, yeah. The companions are the main force of Altura. There's like 2,000 of them. It's one of those like pay your fee, get your B. You're a paladin. Like you're a paladin. You're a paladin. So there's a shit ton of them. So when it comes to the Order of the Gauntlet, across all of Faerun, there's only like 400, right? So there's just 2,000 just paladins inside El Terrell. It as a lawful
Hang on.
good.
Paladins. They're not. They're just. They're
Exactly.
innate.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna look over. Well, I guess we'll do a quick perception check just to find a good group of companions that look like they need a little ribbing.
Yeah. Uh, okay, what's your perception?
17.
Way back. Way back. Okay.
Back in 2
How long
seconds.
has it been? Okay. Uh, so You look over and you instantly see about six of them kind of joking and laughing with a elf, silver hair, with his back to you, and they're kind of just like, you know, you can see him just like whatever, and just one of them kind of bumps into this, long, like beautiful silver hair. His back's to you, and you can kind of tell that there's an awkward kind of moment occurring.
So the
Not slight, you know what I mean? A slight bullying, I'll say.
bullying of the dude with the silver hair.
You can see that he's not interested in what they're saying, and everything that he says. If you listen in, like you can listen in if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna look over at Frume and just go give him a wink, and I go, watch this. And I walk up to him. I just stand behind the guy.
He kind of grabs your hand, like softly, and he's like, two things. Come back. I've got some questions for you. Also, let's keep the army together. Okay. And
This is just
he-
fun. This is just fun.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got you. All right.
I'm gonna walk up and just stand behind the guy.
Okay.
And listen.
Did we lose? Did we lose somebody or gain somebody? Oh no, it's fair. Okay. Uh, you roll another perception check. It's pretty loud in there.
14.
Okay. You hear what? What does it matter how old I am? I've fought for over 50 years, and you hear just like, oh, 150 years old man. I thought this is a five-headed dragon. Good luck, pal. But I mean, I got your back. We are here, the companions. We will protect you. And he's like, all right, well, I appreciate that. You don't know if you're standing behind him. You still haven't like really picked up on anything.
Yeah, I'm just standing behind him in clear
He's
view
like-
of the other guys.
Okay. Okay.
Just
They're looking over at you, and they're like, they kind of stop, and they're like, "Can I help you?"
yeah, what's going on here, guys?
As this, you see the older gentleman, the older elven gentleman turn around, and it's Darren Edermath from he's already there. Like he showed up. He's a little bit older. I told you there's a scene from like The Patriot where he pulls out the hatchet. Like he's just like I was trying to describe to them that it is my time to return to the battlefield and apply my experience to some of the younger paladins. And well, I think he looks at you and is like, it seems that they've got it well in hand. As he kind of smiles at you, you know what I mean, and winks, and they're like, I mean, what's that supposed to mean? We've got it. We've got things under control. They smugly reply, and one of them kind of puts his hand on his arms. He's like, "Look, old man." He's like, when it goes down, we'll be there to take care of you." And Dalen just kind of like slowly reaches up and taps his hand. He's like, "Thank you, dear son. I'll come looking for you." And he puts his hand on your shoulders, and he's like, "Dear Manu, should we go get a drink?"
Absolutely.
He's very, you know what I mean? He's doing the very wise thing of like, please don't kill these guys.
I'll give a really nice back slap to one of the guys. Like
Okay, yeah, go
really,
ahead.
really
Roll,
hard.
Okay.
Like,
roll a
really
strength
hard.
Check on it.
Roll a strength check. And he rolls a 1.
It's a 12.
Hits him square in the back, and he's like, "Okay." This dude, and now you know what I mean? Like that only made it worse in his mind. He's
Like,
just like,
ah.
yeah. He rolled an 18. So he's like,
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, okay. And we just
dude, guy next to him, you know what I mean? He's like, nice eye.
I look the other way. I look the other way and let the eye look at him.
Ugh. They're just like, all right, yeah. So they're like, oh,
Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do anything strength-wise with these guys because that's just not my forte. But is there any sort of like axe throwing or darty type things in this establishment?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. All of the above. Like,
I
yes,
want to
there
go.
is.
I want to go into one of the ones where they got the big, massive guys trying to do the axe throwing because obviously they're trying to use strength instead of finesse. And I
But
want
this
to.
is, yeah, yeah. If you walk over there, fruit. You so you ask, Frume is like, you want to throw axes? Like that's,
Hell yeah!
and he stands up and Knox is like, you're not gonna get me this year, and he stands up as well, and he actually reaches behind his back and there's like a double bladed, battle axe, and they walk over to, they're just like, and like these companions now, because these are leaders and people that'll gain them influence and status. You see the companions kind of like, stand aside and form like a bit of a gauntlet, as it were, up to like this big, it's a circular a stump, that was cut and sawed and placed against the wall, and it's got a circle with like a with a five-headed dragon in the center of it, and there's like various cuts in there. And Frume, like, he's like, axe, and someone like hands him an axe, and he's like, Connor, après-vous.
And I'll do the same.
I speak
Axe,
elf.
axe.
Okay. One of the companions like looks around, and Frume looks at him and gives him a stern eye, and he's like, and he hands you this axe hadn't seen a day of combat in its life. He just, like it's the
Can I
cleanest
sort of?
axe.
Can I sort of just sort of weigh it up a bit, sort of give it a twirl, make sure it's
Yeah,
balanced and stuff like that.
about three times of use it, the head's probably coming off. But yeah, yeah, you've got it. It's an axe.
As I see that, then I put it down and I get a silver, like a little silver coin or something, and just bang it in the top just to
Okay,
stop the head falling off again. Might
okay,
save your life one day. That one.
okay. Piece of cake.
I'll let
Yep. So you go, it's just like 30 feet. It's like a 30 feet, and
yeah,
you can see that various axes marks have hit the dragon.
I'll let Foy may go first because obviously
Okay.
don't want to embarrass him on the first shot.
All right.
Okay. So Frume is just like, takes a drink, flips the axe in his hand. One hand, he chucks it, bam, like right, hits like the white head, cleaves the white head of the dragon. So it's just off the side.
So I'll get this, get a feel of the axe.
Everybody's like,
Uh, I'll turn around and literally in one fluid motion as I turn around, just flow it straight for the center and hope.
okay, all right, straight towards the red head.
27.
Yep. Okay. So it's just like it has this like cutting sound. The roll up, yeah. So it just like whack, like straight in the center of it, and Frume's just like, huzzah! And Knox like walks up and just like grabs you and just picks you up, just like, ah, this guy, and like sits him down or sits you back down, and he's just like kind of he fixes your cloak and whatnot, but the companions are just like standing there like, holy shit.
I'll go there. I'll say, can someone get the axe out? I'm not that strong.
Yeah, so yeah, you look at the dude. He just like walks up, and you could tell he's taking this, and kind of in the back of his mind knows he has a bit of a souvenir at the same time. And then all the sycophants kind of stand there, and they instantly begin their own axe throwing contest, and the bar clears up a little bit as a makeshift tournament kind of begins. It's about 11. Some folks, they are paladins and clerics and stuff, so it is waning. The paleo eaters and the crossfitters are starting to walk out. This isn't Sons of
I'll go.
Anarchy energy. This is
I'll go Manu competition.
I'm in. What's the competition? Drinking?
Axes.
Eldritch
Thrown in
blasting.
there. There's an actual competition.
Eldritch blasting.
Oh.
No. Axes.
Eldritch axes.
No. Axes.
And elbows.
You can use elbows if you want, but you don't get any points for them.
Can I use my axe? My
It's
axe is
not a
bigger than
thrown
yours.
axe. We all know that, but it's how you use it that counts. We've had this conversation before, Manu.
Let's do it.
We enter the competition just to have some fun for the last couple of bits in the evening,
Absolutely.
and also to be honest, I don't want these companions winning because they're just namby-pamby nobles that think they're better than everybody else.
It's that same one, that tall one with the long blonde hair, like it's like the Chad and Todd. That were talking to you. They're kind of they're over there throwing, and Daylan is kind of sitting there, watching them and just like, oh, great job, whoa, and kind of nods at Manu, and he's just like,
Yep. Walk up and
As I'm walking over, I go, Manu, how badly do we want to beat these people?
I don't know which one of these axes should I use.
Just put your hand up, say axe, and you get an axe.
Oh, that's it. Axe.
yeah, the guy the Chad one with the longer, the dark Tim Brown hair, kind of hands you his axe. It's got like a pick on one end and an axe on the other. An axe handle or an axe blade. Well,
And what are we using
the
for
guy,
this? For
the
throne.
ooh, shoot. So the blonde dude, he's like, throws his cape over, and he's just like, watch this, as he winks at you. He's like, and like chucks it over his head, whack, like straight into the red dragon's head. He rolled a nat 20.
It's really good. That's really good.
Basically, Manu, you have a choice with this. Because it's a hand axe, you can use your strength mod or your dex mod. They both are acceptable because it's a thrown weapon. So you basically go your strength or dex mod plus your proficiency.
Plus
bonus, 'cause
proficiency.
you're proficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do I roll? It's considered an attack, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm recklessly throwing this fucker. So that is a dirty 20.
Okay. Right into the blue head. Okay, I'll be up in a minute. Hey, Addy. Make sure you go potty. Thanks, buddy. Is that really? Oh, wow, it is. So you throw it, and there's the white head, the blue head, and the red one, and you throw it, and it just comes off to the right side, and the guy's just like, better luck next time, bruh. And he kind of turns his back to you and kind of walks over with the long brown-haired guy, and they start talking and like
I grab him
drinking
by the neck, by the back of the neck, and pull him back
Yeah, yeah.
over and go. Not just yet, brother. Not just yet, boy.
Do a strength check for the neck pull.
Dirty 20.
Okay, he's like right there, and he kind of struggles against it. What did you ask him?
I basically said, "You're not done yet, boy."
Okay, he's just like, you want to be embarrassed? And he walks up, grabs both axes, flips them in his hands, comes back and chucks the handle at you. You can roll a dex check or let it fly by you.
I let it fly by me, and I pull out the rod and just go,
Okay.
"Cha-chink!" and turn it
Okay.
into an axe.
Okay. All right. Do you want to use that as an intimidation?
No.
Okay.
It's just
All right.
I just let it fly by me and pull out my own axe and just go.
You hear people
Cha-chink.
just like it get like a slight, everybody was kind of, it's getting intense, and one of the guys like, oh, maybe we should turn in for the night, and everybody's like, shh, let's see what happens. So Todd comes up, and once again, same thing, throws it straight into the redhead again, and the Chad's like, Sir Chad's like, yeah.
Nat 20.
Okay. All right. So you
And a
take
5.
it.
A 20 and a 5.
Yeah. Tell me what you want to do.
I'm not
Tell
even
us what
going
you
to.
want to do.
I'm just going to look at him and go, Fah!
And slice his axe in half.
And slice his axe in half, yeah.
It doesn't even just do that. So it's a log. You hit it with a nat 20. The log goes and splits at the red. You know what I mean? Like the red head. Uh, like you, Zesis, you're kind of sitting back, kind of watching this thing, and you can see, you hear everything just like, all right. You hear someone like, all right, everybody get to bed. We got a long day tomorrow, and like the companions kind of nod. They're like, good evening, sir. Have a good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. And all walk out for the evening, and it's just basically you on Thar. It's the adults. The adults are left in there. Dalen, what is it?
Winterhound?
Yeah, Winterhound flips. That was the Emerald Enclave guy. Am I
Yeah.
getting everybody?
It's okay, they're
Darren,
drinking, it's fine.
Darren Edermath. Yeah, Darren Eder.
Darren Edermath, the Land Winterhound, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go, Manu, you ruined the game, the stumps broke.
We can get a new one.
Unthar just, Oldar Ravengard just looks at you and he's like, I can't. He looks at all you and he's like, the door's closed, Oldar just like, can't tell you how proud I am to be able to serve with you on the battlefield. Sits down and sweeps off cheese and stuff like that off the table. And it's like, so, you guys that got here awfully quick. Assume you dispatched that red dragon?
There was 2.
Roger.
There's two. Well, there's a lot of red dragons around here. There was 2. There was an ancient red dragon.
There was another ancient red dragon.
He's like, well, we need to get to business. He's like, within about 6 or so days, the rear guard will arrive. We'll let them rest for 3 or 4 days, then we'll press. The city can't hold. He's like, Unthar. He's like, you can tell that Aldar Ravengard may have arrived in the last couple days. He rested a little bit. Now he's getting, it takes you a little bit to get the jet lag off you or whatnot. And he's not really trying to talk a lot of business. You can tell the guys aren't talking a lot of business, but you guys are here. So it's up to y'all. Like they let you know that the High Hall will have a council, tomorrow morning. But if there's, so
we can wait till
what do you
tomorrow.
guys see? You guys just, yeah. Is there any updates? You guys want to hold it for the next one? And
We can give a. I mean,
and they like you.
I'm dumb, so like, I'll just use my dumb charisma to give whatever quick update that we can that would make sense for this type of occasion.
Yeah.
I'll do the classic thing of, well, to be honest, it's not just, I know you say it's an honor working with us, but to be honest, it's an honor working with every single person in this place.
Absolutely.
Without you lot, we won't be doing. Yes, we might get a bit more of the recognition and stuff like that, but to be honest, you're the real guys. Without you guys, we could do half the stuff that we need to do.
He's like, the turnout across Sword Coast has been there's an army. There's going to be some sort of light scouting update tomorrow is what he's going to say. He's like, I think the Harpers and a Zentarum should be arriving tomorrow with the weekly update.
That'll be good. Just make sure, obviously, that when we get through this, we teach those Arcane Brotherhoods that they're staying out of it. It's their own fault. We've got a poster campaign going in the next couple of days. It's fine.
Yes, we've heard of it. The Wyvern Press.
Yep.
He's like
We,
Wyverns have been dropping leaflets all over the place. Yep. What else? Yeah, so that's that. He lets you know the Aligarthas. He's just like your prince. He stays in the High Hall with me. He's like, there are rooms available for you in the High Hall if you so wish. The unicorn's down the street. I think there's rooms available there. I've been keeping the what you call them, the flaming fist, just inside the canal. So he describes, that as you guys got down there, there's a canal that goes around the outside as another defense, and like rows of tents are along that, and that's where the flaming fist are staying, and the companions. They obviously just live in the town. The Lord's Alliance guys are setting up tents on the garden. But other than that, he's just like, yeah, you guys are welcome to stay wherever you like.
Cool.
Untar stands up. They're gonna stay until you guys leave. They haven't seen you in a while, so
Stay
I'll
and
get them
bullshit for
around the
another
drinks.
round of drinks. Stay in BS for another round, and then we'll just beat feet.
okay. With that being said, I'm gonna go put Addie to sleep, and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just go to a break.
Okay.
Yep. See you in a second.
right. So, yeah, we'll just say you guys bed down for the evening. We'll put you all in the unicorn for, you know, 50 gold pieces. You guys wake up in the morning and you guys are at the something unicorn. I think it's called. Uh, and it's a pretty decent like setup business wise. It kind of reminds you of a modern day hotel or whatever. You walk in, there's a desk right there with a little window that slides open. They give you various keys and you go off to go to sleep. It's like a three, four, five-story building that's pretty tall. Uh, and you guys find two, three bedrooms to crash in, and you guys slept uh, pretty well underneath the in the light of the companion, even with Manu's thing. And that's just I don't know how the eye works. That I mean, I know the eye. We're just saying Eltrell's that awesome. You know what I mean? And I just want to give you guys the feeling that yeah, this is a pretty holy place. Manu, you didn't sleep that great, but you got a full rest. The eye is just kind of uncomfortable, and it was like itching, and you know what I mean. You get it though. You're smart enough to know that you through your patron and whatnot that it's going to even be tough to speak with your patron here
Got it.
without alerting probably a high level cleric at the same time. You get that this it's not a good place to be, surfing the webs. Stay off the dark webs in El Terrell.
Roger.
Is there no decent anonymous VPN that he could use to sort of bypass that sort of?
You know what? I mean, if you come up with it,
You know
and
what?
it's awesome.
I
I'll
still
let you
haven't.
guys do anything.
I still haven't gotten my fiend badge yet, so I probably can't get into it.
Okay, that's fair enough. So does that mean my little snake can't communicate that well? My Zentrum snake.
Try.
I'll because obviously from what the guy was saying, that there's some sort of reports coming in tomorrow. I'm going to report in and see if I can get the report first.
Oh, okie dokie. Yep, you wake up in the morning. Your snake is there. Your
I'll use that.
snake.
Yeah.
Yep. You're like, come in, over. Is anybody there, over? And you hear like, good morning.
Morning, Connor.
Okay.
I mean, that's for here. There's a scout report coming in.
Oh, I know this is Connor.
Well, your choice. You can take the risk if you want. Don't think it's.
uh,
Here's my security pass and my code and my press my one-time access code button. Beep.
I didn't know it was storming.
It was a storm.
he's like,
Text.
he's like,
Authenticate.
be outside. He lets you know to go to,
I thought you were out there with him.
it's like outside. There's a market. Go to the Wonders of Chompar. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's
Anything
fine.
else? Anything you need to report in that you need to tell me now, or just pick it up in the report?
You don't hear anything.
Okay. I'll go, as you said, 15 minutes. Right?
Okay. Yeah, if you go out there, there's various like
I
a
mean-
like a loaf of bread that you can pick at as you go downstairs. That was part of the meal, and there's water and some fruits
there
and
a-
cheeses, or you can stuff your
Thunder out
pockets
there,
full of
so-
food, and you head outside, and there's a bit of a farmer's market kind of scene, much
Is it
like
a French?
Fallon
Is it a French? Is it a French baguette?
or
Or is it-
baguette. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, yep. There's a baguette. You can put it into your quiver. This is how I'm imagining you right now. The baguette in the
I
quiver.
don't have a quiver. I don't have a quiver.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. You have a bag of bolts. That's right.
He was
Nope,
barking
don't
for
even have
that.
them.
No, an hour and a half ago.
Is this the tattoo thing? You've got the tattoo.
He's been out there that long.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
Okay.
got. My tattoo makes its own
Like, since we
bolts. I don't
started,
need those.
right?
That's for like
Got
commoners.
Got it. Semantics.
We
All
started
right,
too.
so you go outside.
Commoners.
There's a farmer's market. You look around, make a perception check.
Oh my god.
27.
You're looking through. You do notice that there are various vendors that are pouring into El Terrell from different directions, and El Terrell is becoming a bit of another safe haven, much like Phandalin. You can tell that the refugee situation, making people head towards Baldur's Gate, but stay off the water, because the water it's just inbound troopers, kind of, almost said it, kind of situation. Uh, so it's being used one direction. Any commerce going the other way, is being heavily investigated, right? Because that's the fight's going in one direction. We don't want cultists going anyways. So, or you get the feeling that there are a lot of vendors here that are not from El Terrell. You look around and you see a bronze dragonborn with a hood there, and a nice little placard that says "Wonders of Chionthar River." It's the Chionthar River, whatever this river's name is, on El Terrell. It is called the Chionthar.
Okay,
I
what I
knew
want to
nothing
do
of
is
this 2 years ago.
that's fine. What I want to do is obviously I'm keeping an eye out for someone that I think would be the agent because I don't want to just basically just sort of appear next to him.
So you've got that. So you noticed from a distance the market in the
Yep.
specific, and it's just like a market stand. Behind
Right.
it is a tent. Okay.
Yep.
And it's a dragonborn. He's sitting there, and
I'm
yeah,
gonna.
very very ragged clothes. He's got milky white eyes, like he can hardly see, but he's definitely looking around. Someone walks up. You can see him kind of talking to him. Go ahead, and do you want to see if you can make out where this other guy is?
Yep. Oh, God. Yeah. Hang on, what's my perception again? That's a 30.
Okay. Uh, from a window, you see, as you're kind of looking around, you see like a half of a face looking at the, basically staring at the market as well. And you see like a hand kind of pushing a curtain to the side, and with a 30, right? That's impossible. You see someone with like two fingers with like a curtain, like you know that there's an eye behind it, and you just, through that perception, you know that whoever that is staring down at that market. They obviously had a room wherever this was, and picked that picked that area so that they could just keep an eye on it from wherever they're at.
And I want to basically get to that room
Okay.
without
Um,
without being seen.
yep. You see. Go ahead and make another perception check.
Perception. God, 27 that time.
Yep. There's a tight alley that goes around the back. You can see someone taking, a crate, moving a crate of like lettuce or something in it. Clearly, they're going into the back of whatever inn or whatever that is.
He's not wet.
Okay. As I start to go in, I cast a spell called Passive Outtrace.
Right, plus 10.
Yep, plus 10, and I'm going to stealth
Thank you, Laura
in
Bailey.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
believe I
to
Okay.
that guy.
fell asleep and forgot.
Fuck me. 18.
It's okay.
No.
Yeah. 18. Does 43 do it?
Yeah. I love these high stealth rolls. So nobody remembers who Connor is.
Can I see me?
Monty wakes up in the morning. He's just like, in that, there's an elf with us. Zeus is like both just like, I think there's an elf with us. I'm not even sure. So, yep, you're in there and you're outside the door, just like patted feet. You're outside the door, and there's a keyhole, and you see a guy with a winged snake, up his arm, and he's just kind of staring, and he's kind of like looking around because it's past 15 minutes. He starts like looking back, and then he lets go of the um, curtain, and he's getting ready to he's walking towards the door.
And what I'm going to do is, as he opens the door, I'm just going to basically appear in front of it and push him into the room.
Okie dokie. Okay. Door opens. Roll a strength check.
I'm really good at that. Just a standard. Okay, so yeah, that's 14.
Okay, yep. You push him into the door. Do you want to close it behind you, or?
I can close it behind me, and I'll just go. And as I'll do that, my snake's on my arm.
Okay.
I'll go right.
He's like, well played. Our dragon Jonata at your service, Connor.
I hear you've got a report.
He kind of steps back, sits down on the bed. You can see that there is like blood stain on his cloak. He's just like, we were cut to pieces.
Is that
like,
the Well of Dragons?
yes. He's like, I don't think any of the Harpers made it alive. I was the only one. First Harper I ran into was about 3 miles from the well. And that's as close as they got. He's like, but when I'm given a job, I'm getting it done.
So that's
He kind of stares down at the ground. Hmm?
That's unfortunate. As he does that, I'll get like a bandage out and give it to him for. I haven't got any potions on me spare, but I can give him.
He's like, I'm good, thanks. He takes it though.
So what can you tell me? I know you didn't get that far, but what happened? What can you give me? What intel?
He's just like, I've seen nothing like it. What are you looking for? He's like, I got close enough to see the caldera.
Yeah, I'm interested to see which way you went in. What happened? Do you think there's a potential of any other way in that we could use?
He's like, if I had to go back in, he's like, which it's gonna have to cost a lot. He's like, I've seen some things in my days. He's like, I haven't seen undead like that. He's like, the patrols go out 10 miles, and it's nonstop, like military patrols. So
we'd
there's no
need
joking around.
we'd need something that could shield to the from the presence of the undead. Then.
Yeah, he's like, I walked in, which is one way to do it. I walked in slowly. I stayed out of the way. I went straight, thinking I could go to the north inn, and that's where we were. I lost three. One of them was a viper. Known him for a long time.
That's
He kind of swallows it a little bit. He's like, so the north wasn't. I decided to press around to the east of the caldera. It's not as tall as you'd expect. I thought the volcano would be huge. It's wide. It's got a big diameter. It doesn't go up more than 3,000 feet. I thought it would be, massive. It looks like but it looks more magical active. So I walked around and I was able to assess it from the south. Not a lot of activity in the south, but that's where I started running out of resources, and the patrols, as I got closer to it, were just too heavy.
Yeah, well, we're looking at a way to get in with obviously our strike force, and let's just say they're not the most stealthy group that I'm with. Is the honest answer.
He's like, but if you wanted me to walk you in, I could describe to somebody the last location I was at, which was remotely secure. But the patrols were almost every 30 minutes.
That'd be useful. Get some information we can, but then if it doesn't look like we're going to be able to walk in, we need to come up with some other plan to be able to get in some other way.
Like I've never seen anything like it. He's like, I'll brief them what they asked me to look at the numbers of the cultists, the numbers that we're facing. He's like, I've never seen anything like it.
Well,
Uh,
give me the report. You rest. I'll give the report to the powers that be.
Very well.
So I'll spend the next 5-10 minutes getting all the information out of him and talking various all the stuff that we've got. Just so, because to be fair, he's done a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, he describes, uh, from top to bottom, dozens and dozens of dragons, at least a dozen adult dragons of various colors, but he's got those kind of detailed. Uh, I mean, they look like shapes from his, but some are bigger than others. There's a lot of, a lot of little ones, but he didn't get that close. He said the dragons were closer to the caldera. The closer you get, various patrols would come out. Uh, uh, he describes that as he was going around the north side, the north and west side, in the east side of the mountain, it looked like the mountain was moving. There were so many people on the side and below the mountain itself. But then when you got around to the south side, it's like really, really rough terrain. And it goes up into like another, mountain pass. It's like very, very difficult to get to.
So as
And
I'll
he
talk to
didn't
him on
even do
that
it.
one and say, I'll talk to him on that one then. So if out of all the entrance, the ways that you've tried, even though the south's the more inhospitable in terms of terrain,
Yeah.
that's probably the only one that's got the.
Like I'm not sure. I didn't. He's like, I apologize. He's like, I didn't get
No, no,
that
no,
close.
no.
But
You've tried the other three. To
if
be
there was
honest,
an entrance, it'd be, if there was an entrance on the south side, that's where I would go look. But I didn't see one from. I only got within a mile, 2 miles of the caldera itself.
that's understandable. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Uh, ten. He's
Rest.
describing. He describes like he's like, do you want the numbers? He's
Yeah.
like, I
Well, I'll
sat.
take.
I sat much. Okay. Uh, he is like, I assessed at a minimum of 15,000 undead, uh, thousands of orcs, probably close to 2,000 occultists, in the close to 10,000. Just seeing them move. He's like, the undead move martially. They don't shimmer and sway. They're under command of red wizards who are active and keeping them in order. I think there is a hierarchy amongst these red wizards. He's like, I don't fey very, very well, but
How
they
many red
do
wizards do you think? How many red wizards did you see?
on the outside cloaked. I counted over 200. Various
Wow.
other wizards as well.
And what was that number of dragons you said as well? You saw?
I counted just over a dozen adults, and then, but I couldn't tell you the exact colors. It was getting, but the young, the smaller dragons, probably close to, I don't know, 20.
No, that. As you said, that's a reasonable force to deal with. Wow.
Yes.
And you got out alive. Impressive.
I mean, he gives you one of these like, well, I did, but my friends didn't. Like, so did I come out alive? And he gives
And
you like
the
this.
fact with it, I'll say the fact with those numbers that anyone made it out alive. I know it's not. Got a high place, a high,
I
high,
wasn't always
high
Zentarum, one of your party. One of your party. I think his name was Petey. You give Petey my best.
Isn't PD dead?
You know that Petey's dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll sort of go. I'll actually just I'm just going to blase over that because I don't want him to sort of know that his mates have died more because obviously he's had a lot of that already.
Oh, he's having a
On
he's pretty happy that you're going to give the report. You know what I mean? Like he's done. He's like, well, if that's the case. So you know that our dragon is a really high level of Zentarum. Probably you have prestige level of, you know what I mean, like Zentarum, but he's in the command level of things. Like he's pretty high, so he's just like, I don't know what my next step. He just kind of looks down. He's just like, I don't know what my next step is. I don't know what we're doing right now. I don't know what this is all about. He's like, I feel like I did my part as a Zentarum.
you've done a
I need a couple days.
yeah, totally. Take the time you need. I will contact you on the Viper if we need you.
He's like, good, because I'm not going to stay here.
Yeah,
You
it's not
get
the most.
you get that's the thing that now that you know he's there, he's going to move to another spot just in case you let slip that he was staying at the whatever.
Yeah, understood. But need to contact you, I will,
Very
and
good.
I'll do the whatever salute it is for the Zentrum. I'll do the three amigos salute.
Yeah, I've got them all.
Yes.
He's like, that is a weird. Don't you think that salute's a little weird for? But anyways, see ya.
It might be, but hey, I didn't make it up.
Inspiration if you do it, but just saying. All right, it's called role play. Huzzah! Nope, no inspiration.
Oh,
All right,
screw
so I love you, man. So you walk out. You know the bustling market. You head back across. Uh, Zesis, you're getting up. You know you do the same thing. You wrap up your sword, put your plate on, head downstairs. Manu, you're downstairs as well. And Connor shortly walks up. It's morning. It's like 8 9 a.m. It's nothing serious, but the town is pretty bustling. Uh, Also, Henry, if you're listening as well, you stayed at the Palace of Justice last night. They immediately gave you a bed. You woke up, and someone's knocking on the door, and they bring you hot tier espresso. Like you look down into the mocha. There's a scales of justice inside the thing, and there's a couple leafy foods and good stuff for your bowels, and a fresh pamphlet of what they're gonna pray about today. It's just like, why are people always bad and how to make them good? Like what
Nice.
how to tell. The center part of the like everybody's lying. It says and then it's very you know what I mean, like humans lie. Yeah. Don't trust the Zentarum. Don't let them into the Palace of Justice. And
Okay. I'm gonna look for
are you
the.
flipping me off?
I'd like to go search out the religious leadership of obviously the halls of justice here.
Okay.
Start poking my nose around, and I want to ask some questions about the status of El Terrell since the start of the. I can't remember what the term we used for it. The rise, since we started this a while ago and chasing down all the different dragon folk. I want to find out what has changed, and I get a feeling that this Creed guy is not necessarily on the up and up, or whatever the leadership change is now.
Yeah.
I know the Hell Riders fell out of favor at some point, and not so much fell out of favor, but rebelled against
Yep.
the power of the.
So the order, the Palace of Justice. In this case, there's a paladin. It's Sir Grim, and which is not about as it's basically his personality as well, from what you hear, and he's got an office, nearby. He's probably and They lead you to it, and it's overarching, and it looks down onto the training fields, uh, where various you know paladins and companions and stuff like that are working. It appears that this guy Grim is the one that runs the the companions.
Ah, okay. So I want to do. I'd like to meet with this guy, and
Yeah.
I
You knock it, and he's just like, yeah, you come in, and he's waiting for you. He's standing up, and you know, he's looking over, this larger window, and he's like looking down on, companions training. You hear like the various like,
the
going through like different like parry, cut,
cool.
dash,
Yeah.
and he kind of like looks back at you like very slowly. The paladin energy that the society is not a huge fan of. This guy's got it. Like he's taken justice to the extreme level. And he looks back at you. This is gonna work perfectly. And uh, the acolyte that brings you up, and they're like the Grand Inquisitor, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna my passive wisdom, my passive insight's 20 now. I can roll for active, I guess, if I need to. But passively, what's my take on this guy? Is he on the up and up, or is he like one of those dudes that you can tell he's got plans within plans within plans, and they might
He's got
not?
corporate. He's got, what I mean, you get the feeling of how clean this building is. Uh, the way this acolyte was excited for you to meet the Grand Inquisitor, and this dude does not sound chill whatsoever. That probably corporate, and if there was, you know what I mean, the heaping pile of sycophants as I mentioned, that this dude, is probably runs
Right at the
things
top.
in a, yeah, yeah, yep.
Okay. Um, just casual conversation, ask status, ask all of that. And again, passive wisdom of 20.
The Grand Inquisitor has brought such amazing order to Elturel. In the back of your mind, like, not that it needed it, but okay.
Okay. In my meanderings through the halls here, uh, do I notice any
Can they see me if I get down there?
higher up harpers more than a candle,
I'm not
a
gonna
bright
be-
candle, less than what I'm looking
Oh,
for is somebody that I can get a straight
Are
answer
you
from.
sure?
there's no bright candle. There's no Harpers inside the Palace of Justice. When you were brought in, you basically, punched your
Yeah.
beep boop boop boop, and your, VIP platinum card for tier was the only reason you get in, right? Like you get to stay in the Century Club in the airport at Heathrow, and like nobody gets in there. So you're tracking that this you're for the I need you to roll for the rest of them, but your passive insight is there's not too many guest beds. What goes on in here?
Okay. So I'm gonna roll. Again, like I said, I'm searching for a straight answer.
Okay.
The gay guy's searching for a straight answer. Got it. Check. Uh, rolling. What is that? Wisdom. 8.
You
That
rolled
was
an 8.
I got it. I got it. 8.
That's cool. That's cool. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you didn't pick up anything on the first one because I'll say when you walk in, the door opens. You're more taken aback at it's 8 a.m. This dude is in perfect kit, plate mail, very clean, uh, uh, like white
Amazon just dropped
cape
something off.
without much tarnish on it whatsoever, but the bottom having a little bit of dust on it. His head's shaved clean. He's got various scars on his face, a scar on his neck, which dude probably got there for a reason. And as the door opens, um, the door opens, and he's like, "Thank you, Frymon." And the acolyte kind of bows and like very, very tightly, and lets you into the room. And you kind of walk in, and he turns around. Sorry, I used the wrong voice. And he's got, there might have been something like the damage to his esophagus during a battle or whatever, but he's like, "Welcome, Henry. We are honored to have you here." And he kind of like turns around slowly, and he's like, "What brings you to the Palace of Justice, vice the High Hall?"
Just checking in, see how everything's going here. Give them the spiel, hey, I'm, just doing my rounds, if you will. What is it that they say in the military? An office call?
He's like, "Excellent, come. Look." You walk forward, and he beckons you to look down the window. He's like, "See, soon all of Eltegard and the Faerun will be ruled by my gendarme." And like you look down, and there's like these tier guards that are just like these big burly dudes that look like if the companions that are 2,000 in the top 1%, they're down there just like wrestling and throwing each other. They're sweating all, you know what I mean? Like it's down there. It's looking, but like, and he's just like, "What do you have for me? Or what do you ask of me?"
All right, like I said, I'm just I'm here to check things out, find out if you have any information about or that's going to help us on our quest to the Well of Dragons. I'll give him like the wake ups of what we're up to, where we're trying to, but I'm not going to give him deets.
He's like, "I too will be at the High Hall for the morning briefing.
Uh,
I'll wait till then to get our update. Apparently, some of our spies that we sent in are returning today. Hopefully the Harpers have come back with good news."
cool. Is there?
"I see you have been working with them as well. Maybe not as pure with Tyr as others, but you've done great for our Lord Tyr, so I suppose that's acceptable."
Yeah, only God can tell.
There's a purist, he's a Tyrist. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
Heck. Okay.
he kind of looks up and he stares at this painting of this pale,
It's like an old
like paladin,
hair.
pale with like long blonde hair, and the paladin's sitting there with
Mad at me.
just that's like there's this gate in the background,
It's cute, huh?
and the paladin's in
Yeah.
front of this gate,
I like it.
like a dark gate against a mountainside. Sorry, Z said. We'll pull you in here eventually. Anybody speak up if you guys want to like do a thing, but I'm off on tangents. I apologize.
Oh, tangents are fun. Okay,
Okay.
so if I glean from my passive perception, that I'm not really going to get anything out of talking with this dude other than the stock corporate answers and if I don't, again, Henry's smarter than Nick, so if he's not
Keep rolling perception checks. Just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hang out there for another 10 minutes."
Okay.
Talking but the DC will go up because you're like stalling. You know what I'm saying? So if you fail it and he's just sitting there and you're small talking, yeah, you
Yeah,
can be
so
like, "Hey, I want to throw some charisma at the guy and see if he'll smile." One of those.
yeah, we'll try and be charismatic. I got a bonus to charisma.
All right. And you're trying to glean. What do you want? What do you want to know? Like, what
I
are
wanna
you
try and
searching for?
Get to the. I feel uneasy about this companion uprising, right? Like this is
Companion uprising.
well,
Okay.
these companions now becoming the hot ticket. What I want to
Yeah.
know is, I guess, are they going to be a help or are they just a fucking shit show cover for their stormtrooper army?
be the last guy to ask that question. I think unless you word it correctly, because if there was an HR shoving stuff, if there was a guy that invented the companions, it's
Yeah.
probably this dude.
Okay. So persuasion check 19
Okay.
to get a to get a real feel on what the capabilities limitations are of these companions, and if there's any way that we can use and or abuse them to help us.
What was your persuasion check? 19.
19.
Send
He's
him
like-
to the den of the Inquisitor.
Yeah, he's just like, so if I'm getting this right, you want to know the strengths of my companions and whether or not they're the best. Like, you want to know what their purpose is, whether they're useful in this fight.
Yes. I
He's
want to
like-
figure out if this is a useful thing for us to even waste our time with.
I love that.
You
Say
will
something.
see. Companions are useful, as we will be the first in the fight, with me leading the front. You know, like he's giving you that kind of like, he's like, they will be useful or they will die. If they retreat,
Yeah.
they will be, or they will find themselves in my dungeon. Like this dude is just like not. He's, I mean, it's legit. Like
He's
he's
leaving fine.
he is on your side. There's just some, you know what I mean? Like,
Something deep.
I mean,
I guess.
you probably Henry's probably not his friend. He's in a different group of lawful good. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's just
Yeah.
he's in a
The ends do justify the means sometimes.
yeah. I mean, from what you're gleaming from whatever, if you're asking, you know, if you do you think the companions are turning on anybody or anything? Like he's letting you know that the companion, like he's pressing the companions into service. They will be in the front. They are going to gain experience. You know, no one will ever hear of these hell riders. If I could have them, you know what I mean? If I could have them removed from my walls, I would. What a disgrace, Haruman. And he spits on the ground.
Oh, easy, General Martok. We're good. Okay. So, again, passive perception. I don't think I'm going to get much more out of this guy. I'm going to go. Is there another cleric type or place that I can go to try and get some
He's
more?
just like, yes, of course. And it's not like very dismissive, but he's just, you know, clerics to him, you know, like he's just like, ah, yes, you know, there's Jinx in the High Hall. Ooh, Priestess of Torm runs the High Hall. Oh, all the answers for you, all the answers. As he's, you know, like politely, like passive aggressively, just being like, talk to Ferris Jinx.
Okay. I'll bid him adieu.
I'm sorry, Pariah Jinx. My bad. I have bad handwriting.
Yeah, Mistress Jinx, Pariah,
Good call.
red ninja costume,
Ooh, man.
very GI Joe.
Anyways, that's for another podcast. But yeah, Jinx.
Dig it. Okay.
Yeah, a young 9-year-old Tim was a huge fan of the old Jinx GI Joe.
Glad.
Jeez. Anyways,
Nice.
we digress.
So,
all right.
Yeah, the young Ferris Jinx. I'll make my way to go talk to her. Again, passive perception. Do I get upon initial meeting? Do I feel any way uneasy, or does she look like she's a straight shooter?
Pariah
do I-
Jinx.
Yes.
So you
Pariah.
okay? So you're walking outside. You come out, and this is about the same time. Connor, Zesus, Monty, you guys coming into the high hall as well.
Yep.
You guys see, you know, about the same time. Amazing, you know, clerical. The helm that I've shown you pictures of. You see Henry kind of carrying it under his arm. You know, walking out from this place and just kind of giving you the head shake that House of Justice, you know, and kind of walks off because your alignment wasn't lawful good from jump, was it? Yeah. So you love you some tier, but not that kind of tier. So like you walk out. There's scales of justice, right? You're on the sometimes innocent till proven guilty. This is the guilty and proven guilty. You know what I mean? Like you're feeling some big guilty energy out of this place. So you walk out uh, and you see the boys walking in as well. Uh, as the three of you were walking up, shops are being opened. You see one shop, a guy cleaning off a sign that says just off the top of your head. You see one that just says like Sir Russians, and wiping off the sign, cleaning things up, and I don't know, just when you see various. The rest are basically nobility homes, and you see like a couple other shops and lots of stables at the top, and a lot of horses being walked around in the high garden. And you do see as you get closer to the high hall, rows and rows of tents, very orderly setup. Um, and you can see various banners from the Lord's Alliance at the top. Like the Lord's Alliance got there first, right? So they got the good piece of ground, and that's kind of what Uldar was grumbling about. And as you guys come through the gates, they immediately recognized you get let in. Zesis obviously can get into here because he's from here. He and Cliff do the various hand signals. The doors open up. They're open. There's gates and various uh,
Portcullis.
how do I put it? Yeah, but there's things on the outside of the gate to keep you away. I just like I'm not concertina wire, but like they where they cut wood up stakes. Fuck. And anyways, you're inside there. You see Henry go out, and you see this like um, thinking of like a Greek pantheon type situation or a Roman pantheon. Uh, Large marble, wide stairs that go up into about 10, you know, columns. And inside, there's this beautiful cathedral above you that you could walk up into with the light of the companion and a beautiful sky at night, or beautiful sky during the day. Uh, various doves flying around. It's very pure moment as you guys like walk up to this place. And Manu, is there. The only the only besmirchment upon this pure area is you guys walking up, and there you see Henry kind of meeting up with you. You guys are able to walk in together as a group.
Is anybody from the Emerald Enclave here?
Uh yeah. Do you want to go in?
Should I go
Or you want
in?
to? You don't see any outside. Like you could roll a perception check on the outside of this building. There's various things going on the outside. There's a temple over here and a temple over there. You do see the Palace of Justice.
I thought we were
Much like
inside.
now.
That's. I was
Yeah.
more asking if there was anybody in the high hall that.
Yeah, you can walk in. You can walk in and make a perception check to see if anybody looks like a druid or a ranger or anything like that.
Perception, dirty 20.
Yeah, and that's where you see Dalen Winterhound. Yep, you see him also there. He probably used tree stride in the past couple days. Is that it? Is that their teleportation thing? I think yeah. So he got there through walking through a tree and some sort of Keela thing and copyright infringement. And you see right there with his giant dire wolf off to the side that he's always with. You see him, standing there with his bow behind him. He's working his hands through a well-kempt beard. Um, he's away from everybody. It's more like everything's noise to him, so he's kind of standing back.
I'm gonna send Ash over to stand next to his dire wolf.
He stands there and kind of looks over at you, and um, kind of puts his hand up to his head, and he's just like, "Welcome, Manu. You look." As he looks at you, well, he's like, "Remember, there's always a need for balance."
I think I found the balance.
And he puts his hand on Ash, and he's like, "Would you like me to work with?" Closes his eyes, and Ash, would you like me to work with Ash a bit?
Could you watch him a minute? He could be a little unruly
This
at
is like
times.
he would rather do this, and he's just like he kind of walks outside with Ash and nods.
Like, it's good to see you, Dylan.
He's like, "This isn't for me," and he walks outside. He's like, "Thanks for the distraction. If you need to know anything or ask any questions, I'm outside."
Roger.
He's like, I'll be in the high garden with him."
Roger. I'll take my spot at wherever we're going.
Uh, so as you walk in, you see a massively tall cathedral. Rows and rows of long pews move forward to an altar of Torm, Torm to the front, Helm, Tyr, Lathander, Shantea. There's another dude with an A that Athamathor, that guy. Help me
Rothitator?
out, Pete. So it's Ashante, that was Shantea, and then anyways, various. Nobody cares about those deities in this group, but anyways, but it's a very tall, like square altar with pillars on it. It goes probably like 200 feet back. To your right and left are rows of columns of pillars, very large stone pillars that create a hallway to the outside of this cathedral. And to the outside are various reliquaries, various chapels, other rooms, large staircases that go down, staircases that go up. But you could just see that. And then at the end of this hall is, a bit of a commotion, and you see, very nice capes flapping around, and you know, you see from the distance, a flaming fist, a big dark-skinned, bald-headed guy. You're like, yep, that's Oldar Ravengard, and a dude wearing purple plate mail next to him that with an eye patch. You're like, yep, Sergeant Knox. This must be the gathering point of where everybody is in the high hall. Some folks are beginning to sit in the front few pews, but that's what you kind of see is like at the beginning of people are kind of gathering. Everybody's eating the bananas and the fucking coffee cups from continental breakfast situation prior to the conference. Very, very like
Sponsored by
what would
Shellbucks.
the subtitles would say like indiscernible noises.
Sponsored by Shellbucks.
Yes. There's no
Yeah.
shellbucks here yet, but that's up to you to figure out.
Martina in here?
Martina. Yeah, you can make a perception check. Your passive perception, you kind of wait around, you're looking for her, and you can see her off to the side, kind of talking to another high priestess.
Okay. I'll make my way over and kind of stand by Martina.
Uh, so you run into Martina, and she's talking to a woman with like slightly graying hair, but like very, very beautiful, blondish, but like a streak of it's whiting just a little bit, and you can see a symbol of Torm on her. You recognize her as one of the main priestesses here, and that's Pariah Jinx. And she's talking to Martina, and just as you walk up, she says, "Well, Good day to you, Martina. And as you walk up and they both make eye with you, you've never talked to Faria Jinx before. But now you find yourself in her space, and Martina's like, ah, Thesis, Faria Jinx. Faria Jinx runs probably like the Wednesday mass, right? So she's not the Sunday mass guy. She's not Fabius Krieg, but she runs the off masses here and there, the hangover mass or the Wednesday mass, you know. Um,
Okay. So I just, would say it's nice to meet you, Pariah Jinx. And, is there anything that our party can do for you?
oh no, we're here for you. We're preparing you all for your great journey to the Well of Dragons. If you need any information, if your party needs any information for Elturel, I can describe to you various shops. If you need any healing, please come to us. Uh, she's like, we're going to begin the conference shortly, where um, I think we're going to get an update for some of the generals. Oldegard is going to. We're setting up a table up front. They're all over there, and he points. He's like, they're doing night things over there. Just for
That's
you,
very
yeah, yeah. Just for
yeah.
Henry, Zeus just walked up and is talking to Faria Jinx.
And do you know of any shops in Westerly that would contain any items that we might be interested in?
She gives you three shops that you guys could probably afford. They've got. She's like, you might want to get there quick. Obviously, Baldur's Gate's here, and Baldur's Gate's got some money. Waterdeep shows up. She's like, Lord Neverember arrives in like 5 days, so he's bringing all this back to Neverwinter. Uh, she's like, um, there's a gallery called Q's, and that's down near the Helm Shield Hall. Closest to us is Sir Reshin's. Um, and if there is a new marketplace down in the district, and I've heard if you're looking for magical items um, or potions, uh, there is the Wonders of Chonthar. Those There are various other markets, wool, adventuring gear, and things like that, but those are the ones that I think that you're looking for. And she kind of, winks in Torm.
Well, thank you very much.
Um, yeah, and she looks up to you and she sees Henry in the background as well, and she's like, "Your Holiness, thank you for gracing halls with the keep making flan or whatever you're building there." But yeah, she recognizes you and your super clerical get up. You've got like what the freaking mace of destruction or whatever you've got, and Lightbringer. Yeah, so you've got that. So that's a big deal in the cleric world.
Light it, or I've got the helm of the priest too, so hopefully that gets me a little bit of clout.
Oh yeah, yeah, you got that. And what's the name of that temple? Dionysus Temple. Oops, I'm not supposed to have that up on. Yeah. Lovely grape juice that sarsaparilla.
It's a little old.
Yeah.
I've got my dragon plate on, obviously, looking the part.
Looking the part.
Yeah, and then I'll continue my line of questioning with Lady Jinx, and
Okay.
push the push the envelope on what I can ascertain from this guy, the Credence Clearwater Revival guy taking over.
Fabius Krieg. Okay, so
Yeah.
roll a persuasion check. Use your charisma. Roll a persuasion and see if
I can get her to talk.
yeah.
Dirty 24.
Okay, so your line of questioning is you want to know if this guy Fabius Krieg is on the up and up. You're gonna
Correct.
get the answer that it's more. She gives very pragmatic answers about how wealthy the church has become, and with that wealth, some of us have been able to do great things with our missions. We wish we could get more from the church, but you know, he is making a very strong army, and uh, you get the idea that this is not going in the direction that it's not going in exactly in the direction of what you would consider selfless service. That's what you're gleaning from it, but she's not going to budge much
Okay.
other than that.
So, is it safe to say that I have now got the feeling that, for the most part, Thaddeus Creed, the companions, they're good with a catch?
Yeah, El Terrell, in terms of if this was the, super righteous, selfless, this is it's starting to become high justice, high, you know, it feels like it's feeling businessy. You know what I mean? Like it's feeling internal. You know what I mean? It's not turning. That's the vibe you're getting that this dude is when you see him, he's probably gonna be icky good. Like
Okay. We,
yeah.
we can count on him to do the right thing, but there's
What you're
gonna be
gathering is there's been a lot of room to maneuver since Tiamat started coming.
okay.
And when dire times happen, people will, if there was a place that was like pro security for the realm, it only made it worse here, right? Like it'll yeah, that's what I would say
Okay.
is if there's somebody who's really riding that tide, it's yeah, the big wave is big.
Okay. And then again, passive perception. How is Zeus and Cliff being received as Hell Riders? Are they like,
They're received well because you guys are with them.
okay,
It
so
is
they're
but they really respect the Hell Riders, but their numbers are so dwindled that they can't do anything. That's why there's 2,000 Order the Companion.
check.
You
Okay.
get that. You get that the Hell Rider is probably the best possible paladin to have. They're not eight. There's weird rules about how many Hell Riders that they can have because of the amount of bed space and horses that we can provide, and you can only achieve such a rank in the Hell Riders. They're capped. There's a glass ceiling above the Hell Riders, and Zeus gets it. He's just doing his job. He's just keeping the order arrived. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. That'll end my line of
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
and
We just Dungeons and Dragons a little bit there.
okay. So I guess we're all here for the battle update brief.
Yeah.
I allow that to continue unless Z, you got anything?
Now let's get this cub going.
Okay.
So, Connor, you notice with your passive perception that Oldar Ravengard is now, he was a bit boisterous last night, but he's stone cold sober right now, and this is probably why he's the High Duke. What are they called? Super Duke of Baldur's Gate. So he's the Grand Duke. Huzzah! I inspire myself. So, anyways, so like I read these things, I want to remember these things. So, anyways, so the Grand Duke sits there, and you really get the feeling like, hey, this is a Baldur's Gate is things, but he's probably the one thing that holds Baldur's Gate together. And he's really switched on and very direct orders to this guy, very direct orders to that guy. Bulldog, you notice that despite Bulldog being a paladin in the Tempest Guardians, he's kind of like off to the left of uh, um, Oldegar or Oldar,
Oldar
Ravengard,
Ravengard.
older, and he's older is like hastily writing down notes, and he's like, okay, so how many Tempest Guardians? And 200. He's like, okay, dismissed. And Bulldog like walks away, and another guy walks up, and he's just like, okay, Frume, what's your numbers? And Frume is just like, yeah, I've ordered, he's like, 400, and they write this down, and he's like, Sabine, where is Sabine? Before we get started. And from across the room, this full plate mail, very sleek. Uh, Once again, a blue cape walks up, long black hair, very striking woman walks up, and he's like, General Sabine. He's like, fantastic. Uh, he's like, so he's like, if I can, he's like, your numbers, please. And she's like, Neverwinter Brigade, fully formed at 4,000. And he's like, excellent, excellent. That's exactly. He's like, that's the exact brigade that we created for the Flaming Fist, without any stragglers, 4,000 strong. And he writes down, and he's like, okay, I think I have all of our numbers. And your passive perception for you can see that piece of paper, so you can see the numbers. So if you want to know the total tally or whatever, there's like lines, and it's written out, and he's like, there's a W for wizards, and there's a D for dragons, and there's lots of numbers off to the left for soldiers, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, I will need that because I'll be using. I'll call you to tell me what they need to be as we go.
okay, I'm here. That's it. Close the door.
It's okay. All right. I will use those numbers, Tim. I just want to make sure that when I give my report, I'll be basically what I'll be doing is I'll be referring to the numbers that I've been told, and I'll say versus, and I'll just say it as like matter of fact, like who else doesn't know this sort of stuff. I'll
Yeah.
be saying stuff like,
In general, so as you look, there's a big number for like regular, infantry. It's about 36,000
yeah,
for for special units like paladins and knights, and the Griffin cavalry and things like that. It's almost like a brigade of like heavy hitters, right? So there's like
uh,
4,000 heavy hitters, 36,000 dudes that can put some armor on and do mass things.
does that
And you guys have,
include? Does that include the Eldritch Knights in that?
it does. But you do know that the 6,000 and the Wizards have like a number off to the side, and it's like Cormier. So there's 30,000 in place right now. Cormier's bringing you know what I mean, like X amount of dudes, but you can't really see. He's like scribbling, so it's about in place 30,000 soldiers, roughly 2,000 hitters.
Is
You
that
can
from
say that.
Cormier? Is that from
Yep.
Cormier or is
So
that from?
Cormier has about what you're seeing like in this thing is like this. He's got like Cormier in terms of like heavy hitters. Like half of those are from Cormier, and that's the purple Dragon Knights. And he's got it circled like twice, and you keep seeing his hands like circling it, and he's kind of tapping his fingers, and in place you only have uh, one. There's only 100. Uh, yeah, 100 spellcasters right now. So half of them are basically in Cormier. And you see that there are basically, in terms of dragons, it's like
Yeah.
three adult dragons in various numbers, and he writes out these names of other dragons that are young dragons that are showing up to the fight. And then so you see that, and they're like, we're just waiting on the Zentarum we're waiting on. He's like, has anybody heard anything from the Harpers? And Sabine, is kind of like looking around, like she just got there, and Frume's just like, like,
I'm gonna
where are they?
I'm gonna stand up and slowly walk to the center of this assembly. I'm just going to stand there until people shut up.
So you know this from the report from the Zentarum, and he did a fantastic job. Jonata as an evil dude in it, well, as a guy in an evil organization, a guy in an evil. So Manu, you remember Jonata from Falendon? Okay. Uh, they described to you roughly 15,000 undead, and that's what the crawling side. The mountain looked like it was moving.
What I
10,000
was going to do,
cultists.
I was going to say is if I go into, obviously I've got the report from him, which is fine.
Yep.
What I
Yep.
want to do, you see, is obviously I'm going to walk into the centre. I'm basically waiting for them to sort of actually notice I'm there and actually shut the fuck up so I can talk. I'm not
Yeah,
willing
yeah,
to
yeah.
shout
They
over
kind of
them.
stop. So if you move into a position where you're gonna get attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Frume,
I'll get that.
Frume walks up to you and he's just like, "No one knows you're Zentarum, though." So by the way,
That's fine.
okay,
I'll
you'd
say
have to announce yourself because this would be your time to drop that.
I, I will sort of go. Well, there's an issue with our scouts, and I'll
It
wait
it
for a
gets
second for
quiet. It
everyone.
gets quiet, and a couple people sit down at a pew, and
I'll say
Oldar sitting at a
report.
table off to the left in front of the altar and just kind of like looks up.
I'll say all the harpers failed to get to the area requested. Status unknown.
Rume goes, Manny Bothans. We
Status
lost him.
unknown. However, let's just say majority of the Zentrum have also been lost. Only one seems to have made it back. It's not good. I don't mince my words. I'll say there's 15,000 undeads of various kinds, thousands of orcs, possibly 2 to 3,000 cultists, over 10,000. Now for the more scary numbers. If you think those were the scary numbers, you may need to sit down for some more.
They're
Red
listening.
wizards.
It's like it's dead quiet in there. Like this is the first information anybody's got, so you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, I say red wizards. Over 200. 12
Yeah, yeah.
adult dragons. 20 plus young dragons. And that's only what can be seen from the outside of the caldera.
You hear
Going,
Sabine's
and I'll
like,
say,
"So what? So what? Back to Neverwinter and defend
no,
our keeps?" And then
and I'll say,
Oldar just slams his fist on the ground, and he's like, "No!" He's like, he's just like, "This is where we stand strong." And he kind of points
at
at
that
you.
point,
He's like, "Go ahead, sir."
I'll turn and say, well, going on the numbers that we've got, 36 regular infantry, 40k, 4k specials, then the Cormier regiments of 30k, 2k regiments. Just calling them off and just seeing their expression as I
Yeah,
actually know their figures.
yeah, yeah.
Spellcasters currently
Oldar's,
100.
yeah.
Adult dragons, for some reason we've got 3. 3. That's I won't start on that. Where's the rest of our chromatic dragons?
So,
Young.
so like, uh, they kind of, well, they've all been assembled here, and they've been falling, protecting the city, sir.
Well, find more of them. God damn it! And I was like, right, fine.
As I hear,
100
as he's talking, I slowly turn around and walk out.
Okay.
Just trying to be as smooth as possible.
Okay.
As I turn to obviously the person with the list of the various things, and I'll say, so 100 spellcasters. Is that our Thayan contingent or is that others?
We have no fans. These are the spell guard, and the spell guard of Silvery Moon, uh,
Well, in that case, then
clerics.
I'll say in that case, then we may be for some bolster. I'm not sure if this assembly is aware of recent activity within forming an alliance with Thay.
Yeah, so it's still dead. It's still dead silent, and they're just like listening. Like go on.
Wait until we get the reinforcements from Waterdeep. We can do a real deep look at what we got. I'm expecting a lot more than 100 spellcasters. Let's just say the Red Wizards that we are calling the Red Wizards are a splinter cell of the Red Wizards. They are outcasts. They are they are not the true Thayans. Stormhold, the Stronghold has formed an alliance. We have visited Fae and has made an agreement with them to be able to battle their, let's just say, their wayward friends. Is the nice way of putting it. They are. I understand people's concerns about Thay. I also understand people's concerns about Zentrum and all the other people here. However, we are all of this realm, and if we don't fight together, we fall together.
Roll a persuasion check.
Not that bad. Oh, fuck me. Nat 20. 27.
Did you roll a nat 20? That's tight.
Yeah.
The crowd rolled a nat 1. So, dude, out of nowhere, Manu, as you're walking out of this thing, like your good eye actually tears up. Like you hear this amazing, you know what I mean? Like everybody work together. This is the last chance that we're gonna have. And this is gonna be, there's like a few phrases that are gonna be etched in stone a millennia from now. That'll be 10% truth, like this is Independence Day. This kind of today is our Memorial Weekend. As he, as
And obviously,
poppies start falling
I'm
from
all,
the.
I'm obviously doing this with I've not got the elegance of a diplomat or anything like that, so I'm doing it as pretty bog standard sort of language for
But they just
everyone
needed
to.
that. They just needed it, and they just like, yeah, Jonata's a good dude. I, and but it really, in Oldar stands up and he's like, that's it. We stay on task. He's like, leave the troop movements to me. We do the same thing. He's like, if you want to conduct yourself with Gray Force, go ahead and do that. And he's like, but I'll speak to you offline. He's like, we'll keep the army massed. He discussed that, there's about 40 Griffin cavalry. It takes about 20 Griffin cavalry for an adult dragon, kind of as they described as they're really pumped. There's 400 Order of the, Gauntlet, and they'll be back waiting for a hole to punch. Uh,
I'll also
what
say
did
the classic of things like, yes, it looks like the numbers are against us in terms of certain things. However, who's got our zest for life and backbone with all these people? Your Griffin Riders, your Hell Riders, your companions. They won't have anyone to start to handle us one to one. And standing together, we're going to do this. We are.
It's funny because you say this, and because of the Nat 20, there was a dude, with a blonde, tight comb over and, you know, robes, very, very, very clean robes of Torm or whatever. It was clearly Thavius Krieg. He's got this huge gold medallion, and many gold rings and rubies and one giant ring kind of in the middle. And he's resting his hand on this black stone with white writing, and on it is inscripted the Creed Resolute. And you got up there to start talking as he was about to start the speech, and he kind of drifts back. Zesis, you noticed this. You saw the energy just totally get pulled from this guy, and he's just like, "Yes, Connor!" And he kind of like walks
As
behind you, and he's like, "We
as
yes."
he does that, I'll turn and glare at him to the
Yeah,
point of the
yeah,
I don't do fake people. This isn't
yeah.
Connor. It's all about results, and I'll just sort of the glare I'll be using at him is just one to don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, yeah. And he, is amazing politician or whatever. He avoids that and just kind of does shift, and
And I'll
continues
say,
clapping behind you, like,
and I
yeah,
will stand up and say, now is the time for us to stand up, stop prancing around in shiny armor, and I'll just glance around at him and actually make an effort and do what we need to do. We do not want pompous people that feel that they can do this. We need results and we need people that can actually do the job on the ground floor.
it's yeah, almost like before you could even finish this, like he Homer Simpsons into the back of a yeah, he just like disappeared in the crowd. He's gone. Fabius Krieg is,
And at that
talking to
point,
folks
closely,
and
and I'll say,
he,
this is the time where we need people that can stand and people like the Hell Risers, the Hell Riders. I go, run! There you go. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Get the proper team on
Now,
point instead
now
of
Fabius Krieg eventually like walks up and like, you know, when the tables turn, he like pats, Zeus on the back. He's like, the Hell Riders in uh um Ryan Moonbeam will lead the companions. He doesn't even know her name. But yeah, so this occurs. Oldar describes it dissipates, and he's like, everybody, he's like, everybody keep it down, and he's like, so it's very clear that if it's not evenly matched, we can't fight this fight and fight Tiamat. Are we in
and
agreement?
I'll
We
say
need
that and
to
say
open up he's like, we need to speak privately.
I'll say commanders in the ready room.
Yep. So they kind of walk off, and they sit down. It's Ferme, Sabine, you know, uh, you, anybody that's anybody uh,
So I
sits
was
in
And I'll
there.
I
say
was walking back outside after hearing the report from Connor, realizing that I sent Delan out,
Oh, he
and
doesn't care.
no, I'm
He's
sure
got a
he
bird
doesn't
in there
care.
listening, anyways. He's like earpiecing through a dove in the window. So like,
But I realized that we don't know what the Emerald Enclave is providing, so I'm heading back outside
okay,
to discuss with him,
okay,
um, and just have a
so
discussion.
when we get when we get into the back room, and I'll just as they're about to start, I'm just basically going to run the show because I've had enough of them. They're just chatting, and I'll basically turn to our esteemed Stronghold colleagues and say, right, you are totally right to the rest of these people that it's impossible to fight these people and to fight Tiamat. Hence, it's why we are here as Stronghold. We will take the fight to Tiamat. You deal with the army.
so we can do that. Do I have assurances that? Well, it's going to have to do with timing, correct?
Yeah, we are still working out how we get in. We are still working out how it's possible.
What do
And
you mean?
yes, there are. At the moment, we're trying to scout the caldera. All our scouts have died. The ground, and I'll give the report that we've got from the thing that the north, the south, sorry, the north, the
Yep.
east, and the west looks impenetrable. The south looks reasonably possible, but it's very much hard
He's
in terms
like,
of
he's like,
terrain.
I even know. He's like, I even know that we can't march an army from the south. It's we would be cut to pieces.
Well, we're not an army. Sometimes a small band of people
Oh, he's like,
can do.
understood. So I think the same distraction. We fight the fight. We fight to you, and we arrive at the culmination of whatever when you
Yes,
slip in. But you need to find a way to slip in. We
yes,
have no
and
way.
that's what
He's
we
like he's
are.
like we have no resources to know. He's like to be honest with you, it's complete desolation, 3 kilometers away from El Terrell itself.
And that's what
You
we
can
need
see
to
from the
work on.
ramparts. Hmm?
That's exactly what we need to work on. We've got, and I'll say we've got 9 days now until we go. Our chief priority at the moment is to A, where do we position our troops and who do we position them against?
Yep.
Because quite
He's like
rightly,
9 days
it,
before we depart, 10 days to get there, and then
yeah.
it's on. So
So if
19
we
days
look
is
at,
like the
they've got 12 adult dragons. If we spend our infantry against those dragons are going to make mincemeat of our infantry. We need
yep.
to have a decisive battle plan. And on that note as well, we also need amongst our stronghold people here, and if you have any ideas, there's no such thing as a bad idea at this point. We need to decide how we're going to get in to the caldera so we can actually take it to Tiamat. Because at this point, there's no point you guys distracting and taking care of this army if we're unable to get into the caldera. I would rather that you went back to our home cities and protected them. I don't want to throw your lives away. That's not what we're here for. So unless we can come up with a plan of some kind to get us in that caldera in the next 9 days, we need to have a hard decision of what we're going to do.
he's like, well, if you guys didn't survive Phandalin, we were going to rely on Grey Force, and they describe these 12 dudes and dudettes that are like Waterdeep's elite, you know, hitters. He's like, one of them, we could get you, we could probably get you there if you can't. But well, I mean,
Oh,
like,
well,
what do you need
I'm
from
not.
us?
I'm not saying we can't at the moment. We just need to come up with ideas. We are going to do some scouting of ourselves. We need to just check. It's looking at, from what my reports back from the Zentrum um, scouts. The person that all the scouts died apart from one, and that one, let's just say he's not. He is one of our best.
But
So
you know, Oldar's like, well, we need to time's wasting. So he's like, the plan is yours. Tell us what you need. What do you want? We need to. He's like,
so
we need to find a way into this caldera.
so multiple ways. Let's just brainstorm some ideas. Have we got any? Obviously, the young dragons we've got. How many young dragons have we got?
He's like, we have, you know, he kind of looks. He's like, oh, how many do we have? Young dragons? He's
Young
like, we
ones are
have,
very.
we have roughly 10 young dragons, but he's like, I'm telling you, every time we try to fly to this thing, we are cut to pieces.
Oh, I totally get that. What I'm considering is it's risky, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's possible at this point. The ground assault seems to be nearly impossible. The air assault seems to be nearly impossible. However, we are a small band. Is there any way that we can go high above the caldera and somehow Halo-esque jump and get to the ground?
He's like, I highly doubt the caldera itself can be achieved. If you wanted to scout, he's like, I would risk dropping you maybe 10 miles to the south to sneak in. He's like, that's brilliant. He's like, we could offset it a little bit, but
Yeah, I'm
he's
just
like,
considering the fact is that and I'll look around the Stormhold people and go, look, we're not built for. Well, most of us aren't built for stealth. No offense, Thesis. Sorry. Um, we need to somehow to be able to get in a way that
you hear on the door, and they open it up, and you see Jonata. He's like, you can see him like he gathered his strength. He got his shit together for like one last time, and he gets by you, and they all kind of recognize him, and he kind of stands next to you. He's just like, forgive me, I'm here. How can I help?
we're looking at how we can get our strike force of the Stronghold into the caldera. At the moment, I'll quickly run
He's
over.
like, I did overhear your plan, and he was just like, I agree with Oldar. If you want to scout again, he's like, you'll have one chance at this. Either it's the one chance. It's what he says. He's like, he looks straight at you, Connor, with like just anger from everything. You can feel that he's very decisive. He's like, you have one chance to drop in to scout, or one chance to drop in and find how to get in. You know what I mean? He's just like,
Well, in that
I
case, then
recommend you. This is smart. You know what I mean? He's like, you could drop in. He's like, drop in
I'll
and then scout, get pulled back out,
I'll
right?
turn to Manu and
And then tell him,
Nick
yeah.
and go, look, I'll say it. I'm quite like a heavy heart. I don't want to put you guys at risk. No offense to any of you guys. You guys are the most. In a fight, I want you guys at my back. However, in a stealth mission, no offense, you're very good at it as a distraction. Rather than,
You can give them pass without trace, though.
yeah, that's only plus 10, and these guys wear armor, and they're big,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
rattle.
True, true.
I'm not in there. I'm outside talking to Delan.
Yeah. I'll say, can we? I have abilities that these guys do not, and at night they won't find me. How about you drop me in as close as we can to the caldera at night, and I'll do a solo scout to find a way in and get out. I'm not willing to put any of these guys at risk for a scouting expedition until I find a way in that these guys will not be murdered and slaughtered on the spot.
There's literally, as you're outside talking to Dalen, there's literally like, Dalen's telling you this from like a bird that's inside the, you know what I mean? Like, it's like basically like, listen, he's like, hey, you might want to run in there, 'cause this guy's about to do a solo mission into
Before I
the
do
caldera
that,
by himself.
do we have the support of the Enclave?
Of course. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, we've got 100 rangers and 50 druids at your disposal.
Perfect. That's all I needed to know. Never. You're a hard man to read, sir.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, hey, I taught Ash to I talked to him, and if you say protect, he'll stand in front of one of your friends and fight till he dies.
I'll do one last little thing. By chance, do you have one of them rings of animal influence on you? It might help me with them.
He's like, I can find you one of those before. He's like, within the next 2 days, I'll give me 2 days. He's like, I just need to get a druid on that.
Gotcha. I wink with my good eye, and then I head upstairs.
Yeah.
As I
Okay.
see Manu walk towards me, I'll walk towards Manu and get him next to the stronghold people, and sort of go, look, I understand I've been distant. I've been a little bit more focused on certain activities. However, you guys are the backbone of the stronghold. I'm very, very good at certain things. You haven't seen half my abilities because I can't use them when I'm around you. I feel that I have the best chance to get in, to do the scouting expedition and come out. There's no way I'm going any more than scout. Without you guys, I'd be half the man I am now. However, you guys have other skills, and those skills require making noise. You make an awful lot of noise.
Thanks.
And to be honest, yeah, no, very good at that.
Can
However,
we let the ruckus?
you're very good,
We
very
let
good at
everybody
that,
know we're coming.
Yeah, unfortunately, with a scouting mission, that's the last thing we want to do.
Well,
I propose that
as much as I don't want to see that happen, I kind of have to agree with you. And I reach in and I grab 2 potions of healing, gooder, and I hand them to you.
appreciate
The
it.
DM's bladder was rolling at a
So
disadvantage. Okay.
these are Connor. These are potions of healing, gooder.
Are you really gonna do
Potions
this
of
a
healing
solo mish?
I'm handing him 2 potions of healing, gooder,
Okay.
and then I reach into my black paint, and I wipe black paint on his face. I go, you have the blessing of Manu.
He's had this
Gives
pain
me
since
advantage.
like day one.
That gives me advantage on everything, right?
You know what? The speech and all this stuff, you can roll with an inspiration on if this is where this is going. If this is where this is going, I don't know. I'm feeling this. Paladin, you're letting this happen. You're letting this solo mish occur.
I mean, it's up to him. If he thinks it's the best way to go about it, to
The advantage I've got, let's just run through a few things just to make sure people are aware because it's easier for me to do it this way. My character is a rogue ranger. He is a gloomstalker and a scout. So running through caldera and stuff like that, none of it is hard terrain for me. I run through it at normal speed. In darkness, and anyone that can see with normal vision or infravision, I am
DMs want to be a
invisible.
PC so bad to say things. It's so
Yeah,
hard for me.
yeah, I am invisible. Not just
Yes. Split the party.
not not just not just I roll well on stealth check. I am actually invisible. So yeah, I'm just going on the fact that no offense to anybody here, but you guys will hold me up if I'm doing a scouting mission rather than me just going on my own. I die, I die. You guys don't.
I mean, I guess
And I have
You know.
whiskey.
we can all go shopping while he goes and scouts.
Well, it's going to be at night, right?
Yep.
Well, I gave you the Manu blessing.
And I feel it, Manu. I feel it.
And you can ask me later what a potion of healing gooder does.
If I need to drink it, it's probably too late at that point, mate.
Well, if you still want to ask me, I'll let you know what it does.
Does it make me feel gooder? Does not actually do any gooder.
Henry, have you
Hold on,
you're
let me
in
see.
the room
I'll see if I can find something.
letting go down?
So, all I would ask before he does this is that I get an opportunity to, if we're going to do this, I got to do a Warrior's Feast for him, because that's going to give him some bonus, and I got to do some blessing kind of shit.
Okay.
Anything that you're and I envy your connection with your God is something that I don't have. But anything that you are able to do to assist me, I'd be insane not to accept.
Yeah, I think so. So, off the top of my head, before you roll, I got a Hero's Feast you. That's the day prior. So if you're planning, are you going to now?
I'm going tonight.
Are you so? You know, how are you landing? How are you getting like? So Oldar's like, wait a minute. How are
I'm
you?
going to go. That's what I need to do. We need to go to a few shops, talk to a few people. I need some way of having a Featherfall token of some kind.
I have one.
Featherfall token?
Yeah, from a long time ago. And I have a rock
Cool.
that weighs forever. Wait, I think actually no, Dan might have it. I know one of us has it. We might have Tracy.
Just make sure if you walk off the camera that there is a actual feather token out there or a okay.
I know we have
don't
it.
recall ever giving.
It was at the same time. You remember we got the one rock? We put the rock on something, and that whatever can't move. And we got the Featherfall token. It was before Raven left.
Oh wow!
What I'm thinking
It was BR. It was BR. Wow.
Yeah, it was BR. You know, like
what I'm thinking is if I can find, because it's going to be dark, I'm going to be invisible. I'm going to basically, as high as I can, jump off as I go down. Featherfall token. I'm going to halo jump.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyways,
In the dark, invisible.
do you need a dragon for this?
Yes, I need a small dragon.
A small dragon.
Because I don't want it.
oh.
And basically, I want it to go as high as possible, and me to just for it to tell me that he's over this near, like within a few miles south of the Kadara, and I will basically jump.
This is. I don't want to quit playing Dungeons and Dragons today. This is literally the most fun. Like This is the dumbest.
Think that you should make him play the old Nintendo version of Metal Gear Solid, and if he
survives it, he wins.
Right.
Up, down, left, right. Okay.
Hey,
Good. So, what time? You guys want to? Everybody has enough cerebral capacity to maybe conduct said thing until a cliffhanger. How are you doing?
get going.
Okay. Manu?
Run to the dive shop.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I just have to order food here probably shortly.
what we could quite easily do is, if you want to, Tim, we could quite easily get over there. I could jump, do some rolls, and end it there.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to save a cliffhanger. Okay.
That's a cliffhanger.
I think that's the cliffhanger. I think that's the cliffhanger.
Okay. All right.
Let's not hear.
Okay.
So
do you want to shop?
So
do you want to shop at all, or do you want this token? I gotta see this token. Where's this token at?
Let me wake up my husband. Manu, do me a favor. Check the bag of holding spreadsheet. I'm pretty sure I know it was before Ravenloft we got it, and we just put it in the thing. Hold on.
We just had a tier 3 subscription. Thank you, Zombie Batman. Holy cow.
It was. We just got. We got a. It's because we got the full Connor. That's what he's just going. He's going. I can't. I can't wait 3 weeks to do what's about to happen. Like this is.
The-
A tier 3
bullshit.
sub.
We're gonna
That's a
play tomorrow.
tier 3 sub.
Asa might have it. I can't remember who has it, but I know we have it.
I think the feather token you may have. It depends which one it is, because there's a couple.
No bullshit. There it is. Hold on.
Feather token
Okay.
anchor you've got. Yeah, that's a different one.
What? We can put that one on and you'll fall like an anchor.
Yeah, and hit the
Yeah.
floor really heavy. Hit the ground really hard. Don't want to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I have the wrong token. I have the
Okay.
heavy token. Can I?
We have a Dragon Wing glider.
That's right. We did get that.
That'll do.
I've got a ship in a bottle.
Dragon Wing Glider. Read it.
Uh,
Just want to make sure. I know where
There's
this
got-
came from. This came from Barovia as well. This is why
Laying
you
around.
always do Strahd in Rise of Tiamat. This is,
The
so
other option
always,
we've
any
got.
campaign can have mist in it. Just saying.
I don't
The
have
other-
anything
the other-
in here other than it's got an AC of 12, 1 HP, and a 15-foot wingspan. That's all I have.
Epione is going to be so pissed when she hears that she did this without her. She's going to be.
The other thing we can do is if we can find a ring of feather falling within Etrel, I use that.
I like the dragon glider.
I like this idea. You're not going to
If
find it
not-
in the next.
I also
If
have
not-
I also have a cleric grenade in here.
If not, worst case scenario, they drop me 15 miles out and I run in on foot.
Okay.
What was
So-
the clarity?
I don't
You
know.
know, while this is happening, they're like, well, we've got a dragon. Just so you know, we've got one that's been eager. Like, we've got one. So that's a piece of cake. Stevelrion is ready to go. Need to be careful with this guy because he'll do whatever you want. He's pretty bold. We know for a fact that we have a dragon. That's what they're saying. They're like looking at each other like, oh, we got the dragon for this. If there was a dragon with barbarian traits, we've got one.
I like him already.
Do you have the stats on that dragon glider?
The only thing I have written down is the AC, the HP, and the wingspan.
Okay, it's if anybody has source books, it's in Barovia, and it was found. Was it
Fort-
found in the crypts?
Yeah, when we were doing the loot grave digging, that
Yeah.
mirror.
Everybody should have my.
Yeah,
Who's got Death Ward?
I'm trying to think of where in the book that would be.
You cast that on Connor?
Yeah, but
And
that
then
means
just
I hit the ground. I hit the
jump.
ground, I come to 1 hit point, and then how do I get back? Come on.
Better than nothing. Might keep you alive if we got to come in and save you.
So the glider was next to the crypt, right?
Yeah, where's the crypt?
Was
Is
that-
that in the
was that-
top?
Are you talking about Katsuki's glider?
Hey, I apologize, guys. I gotta get going. I'm sorry.
Hey, buddy. Have a
It
good
was
one.
good.
Dungeon.
I'll see you guys.
Good catch with the death ward, buddy.
Yep, nice one.
I tried. All right.
What's the worst that
Okay.
can happen?
In the catacombs?
Yeah, it's in the catacombs, but then you got to go to the 90 dungeons or catacombs. And then it's just
Oh,
keep
here we go.
scrolling and
Okay.
please-
So the grenade was crypt 30. prefix, gold, holy symbols, festoon. If touched by an evil creature, the holy symbol is consumed in a blast of intense light that deals. Characters familiar with Barovian religion. So it's that.
I found it. I think I found it. It's called Cat's Keys. It's basically any small or medium creature can wear the dragon wing glider. It takes 1 minute to don or doff. It supports more than £80. That's fine. Basically, it allows you to. The wearer can become airborne by stepping or jumping from a high place by forming a high jump. Blah 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 blah. Basically allows you to descend at 1 foot for every 10 feet of horizontal distance covered.
Did you just become a cruise missile?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you're descending slowly.
Whilst invisible.
You
I'm
got this.
invisible.
Is the contraption invisible? If you gotta wear
Everything-
it, then go, right?
Yeah, if I wear it, it's invisible because my armor's invisible that I'm
Okay.
wearing.
So, mark it, set, go. Tell me what you're doing.
That.
I'm just
So,
Did you hear
can I
that?
hit the card first?
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna sit us all down for a hero's feast. I'm gonna cast Death Ward.
So I'm gonna tell you, this is how somber this occasion is. This is epic. So they cleared the High Hall. You know what I mean? Like Fabius Krieg is not even allowed in here. That kind of energy, and this is his building, but this is the BDE. This is BDE of Faerun. You know, so Sabine's here. Never Ember isn't here. Lady Lariel's isn't here. You guys are about to send it. Okay, he's about to send it without like anybody available. So they cleared these things. Everybody's in the cathedral. They're you see this young silver dragon off to the like very sleek, very jacked, not even close to being an adult dragon yet. Not even close, but just there's a silver dragon.
I'll go and talk to him because
Okay.
I'll say yeah, and I'll say, I appreciate you willing to do this.
I appreciate you willing to accept me to do this.
With your dragon knowledge, do you have anything that could slow my fall in any shape or form? That if I jump off you,
I'll take you all the way down. I'll take you all the way down. Do you want to? We'll go way high. We'll go like, you know.
yeah, I get that. I don't want
It's
you. I
gonna
don't
be
want to put
tough.
you.
We're gonna have to
Look,
duck dodge, and I've been pretty aggressive. You're talking to Sonic the Hedgehog right now. In your mind, like new Sonic, you're talking, and he's like, okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. And I'll take you. Which direction you want to come from? Do you want to come? Do you want to go like straight at the undead?
no,
or
from
do you
this
want to?
no, we're going from the south, and I want you to drop me around 10 miles from the caldera.
Okay, easy. Do you want me to drop you there? I'll take you all the way down. He's like, nah, no. Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
So, do you have any dragon magic at all that can help me descend?
No,
a safe
but what
manner.
I do have is intestinal fortitude. 1. That's a lot. Elan. Nobody hears about that. I got loads of that. 3. Spirit of friendship, bro.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
The name's Stebelerion. People call me Steve.
Fine. So,
Your
obviously we have-
confidence getting lower on your move. Steve's about this though. You're not
No,
gonna.
Steve's-
The other dragons, they got this. You know what I mean? This guy, you know, he may have. You could see there's a scar. He's got a few scars. Maybe he's got a couple TBIs. But like, he's ready. He's ready to bring back the good name of Silver Dragons.
just checking something. I've got 2 secs because I need to check something.
If you think there's a fandom of Steve Elerion, there is not. I just wrote that down right in the old book right here.
You got another 12 hit points after the feast as well, and you're death warded. And you've got
Okay.
immune
Actually,
to
I got a question here because there's an easier way of doing this, which makes it a bit easier. If we get this youngest dragon, it can take 2 people, can it?
Yep.
Right. If
he's young, but he's built
yeah,
like
yeah,
so.
yeah, he's
Fierce
built.
strength is his joint.
If I can get a wizard with me, or a bard, or a sorcerer, doesn't really matter, whoever, I don't care, that can cast Featherfall as I'm flying, they can cast Featherfall on up to 5 creatures. I can then get to the ground with no problem at all.
Okay.
They don't have to jump off with you, though, right?
No, they don't have to jump off with me. No.
Do we have a guy? A gal?
Every guy.
We must be able to get a wizard that can do that. It's a level 1 spell.
Let's see if Epione's got it.
If not, we'll find a fucking scroll. We'll find. There's got to be a way of doing this.
I'm just going to see if I can put Epione in a really bad place right now.
That's not very nice. That's your other half. You can't do that.
Now
That's bad.
now that I'm driving.
What?
Let's see, fly.
No, Featherfall.
What about
So
fly? What about fly?
That is a possibility. However, I was thinking more. How long's fly last for?
10 minutes.
Yep, that's fine.
That's
That'll
plenty.
do.
That's plenty of time.
Dan has it.
Dan just is Dan.
He's up now. He has it. Dan can go with you. Lantoris.
You want robots?
Hey, robots are cool.
Okay.
Baby, you're riding on a dragon and casting Featherfall.
That's what you just signed up for. You have to show up to the next episode.
So basically, what we're going to do is both of us go reasonably high. I'm going to start to jump off. He's going to cast Featherfall on me. And I'm basically going to plummet to the ground and then just stop at the bottom.
Action, and then we'll be done.
I'd like you to use a
Featherfall.
different descriptive word than plummet.
Was that him?
That's what Featherfall does. You don't actually slow
What
down.
was he doing?
You just go all the way down until you're just off the floor, and then it
I
goes.
thought it was you.
Then you stop.
And I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Very well.
Oh, that was him.
What are we doing?
You see this,
I think
you know,
so.
very
Yeah.
Peralta
He's still using
silver dragon, like listening to you guys talk about this, and he's like, tight, cool, no doubt, let's do this. You ready to go?
Did Sir Timothy just walk in?
tight, cool.
It's called Sir Timothy the Dragon.
I love this. Operation Send It. Can we call it Operation Send It?
We just had somebody.
Yeah.
We just had
Nice.
somebody sign up
Uh,
for a tier
Okay,
3.
so
What I'm doing, by the way, is when I
it's
get
like
off the top,
$20 a month.
I know it's not going to take me an hour to get down,
Seriously?
but I'm going to, as I jump,
It was me.
I am going to, obviously, I'm invisible because it's dark.
okay.
I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace on me,
What did they
so
do
my
for it?
stealth is going to be through the roof.
Don't even know.
So what
figure
what
that out.
Stevellerion is going to say is,
I mean, I seriously I
if
don't even
we're
know.
gonna go, we'll arrive at nightfall if we leave now. So if we leave at nightfall, we'll basically, with my little wings, to go, you know, what is it? It's about 100 miles. We need to go. We need to leave at about, you know, the next 2 hours. He'll say.
Sounds like a plan to me. The longer we think about this, the longer I might say no. So let's go.
You see me just pushing this up. Like, okay. So Henry, you're staying back. Manu, you're staying back. Epione is like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm giving her the option to have climbed on if she decides to. Because I know for a fact she's gonna want to go. What's that?
Lantoris will cast this spell.
Okay.
It'll
Oh,
be
Dan's
+1.
okay. So Dan's in. He's going.
Yeah, he'll go.
Or Lantoris, yes. So Okay, so it'll be Lantaurus and Connor because Lantaurus is
Yep.
wicked heavy.
Yeah, basically what I've said to them is I'm going to get in, I'm going to get out sort of 15, because to be honest, I can move at quite a pace when I need to. So I'm going to get in 15, 20 miles south. As we're flying in, we're going to pick a landmark for them to pick me up at.
Okay, let's see. It is okay. It's 3 plus 20 on the feed. All right, stay with us, Henry. So is Lantaurus anywhere near this as well? Oh,
There he
there
is.
he is. Can you hear us? Hello, Lantaurus. Robot? He signed you up for some crazy shit. All right. All right, so it's one of those somber kind of moments where, the dude walks out to the Sopwith camel, or the Red Baron does the thing and is going to go off on some kind of mission. The fact that nobody's going to be aware. This is a surprise thing because you guys walked into this thing, you walked into the back of the room, you basically had all the resources necessary, and Steve, who was like ready to rock. Steve, this dragon has holes in his wings, just so you know. Like, he's got singes down the side from getting blasted, but like he probably knows how to get in and out of this place. If there was a young dragon who knows how to get there and has had a couple missions under his belt and who really wants to be an adult dragon someday, who really wants to, he keeps telling you, he's like, I'm going to be the next Arginibust. I'm going to be the next, you know.
And I 100% believe this guy. He has my complete faith.
What was her name? What was her name? The silver dragon that just died. Oh, inspiration if you know her, if you can remember her name without looking it up. Anyways, ah, blows my yeah. Anyways, she just died. She was Claire. Claire?
No,
Was it Claire?
no,
I
it's
think it
not
was Claire.
Claire. It was Ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was a main member of the Council of Waterdeep. But anyways, so
I got it. Hang on, Elia.
Yeah, Elia.
Alia, yeah, no
Is
inspiration.
that,
But
double
anyways,
is that my double inspiration? I'm hearing that. I need this for
I'm
this
going to
next adventure.
say you do from the speech, you do have an inspiration. Uh and you guys are moved around you come out the front and you come out of the front and you guys are moved around the back of the high hall, right? They're trying to not make a scene of this dragon leaving. So Stevellarion's like, look, if we gotta go, I'm gonna grab you guys up. Do you guys have everything that you need?
Real quick, Connor. Connor, do you want a potion of invisibility? Do you think
I'll
you
take
need
it
it?
just in case.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
take
here.
it just in case.
Take a potion of invisibility.
Hopefully, with all the normal darkness, they won't be able to see me anyway. But just in
Right.
case, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Put it in your bag. You got it.
Stevelarion cannot shapeshift yet, like most silver dragons, so he's always like in form, as a young silver dragon. He's getting close. He's like, man, I think I'm gonna get enough XP on this next. He's about XP. He's a metagaming, dragon. He's about this as well. So he
Well, I'll
just
say
wants
to-
as many flight hours. Huh?
As I'm walking up to him, I say, "Stick with me, and I'll make sure you're an adult soon."
Yeah. Tight. Cool. And he's just
Does
he's
he look
got a
like this
belt.
too?
Yeah. You can tell he's got a couple belts on him as well, and there's various potions and things like that. Like he's after stuff. He's got like food that he eats, and he's kind of kitted up as a dragon. So does Lantoris have everything he wants, or he's gone? He's committed. Does he have everything he needs?
Yeah, just so we're clear, though, he's going to ride the dragon with Connor.
So
As
Connor is going to double fist Lantoris, or yeah. So Steve Elrion is going to double fist. Don't. He's going to hold with both arms Lantaurus, and then Connor, he wants you to just hold on to his neck.
Yep, I can do that.
Yeah.
Kind of talks us out. He's like,
And I'm
look,
going to be basically drop me. As we come in, we'll find a certain landmark that you can meet me against. Come back in 4 or 5 hours to see if I'm there. You are
Okay.
not to engage any dragons, anything like that. Just get the fuck out of here.
just
Get me in,
Dragon's
drop-
copy. Just Dragon's copy.
No,
And he takes off.
anything. Your job is to get Lantaurus and me there, and to get Lantaurus back here.
Okay. You can trust me.
I,
And
my life is in your hands.
You need anything else?
yeah, we're coming home. He tells you, he's like, 100% coming home. He's like, okay, you can trust me. All right, so Lantaurus doesn't need anything. He grabs onto Lantaurus underneath his shoulder blades. He racks him, and he's like, all right, and he tucks his arms underneath like these leather straps where there's various, potions and stuff. Lantaurus kind of like looks at him. He's like, don't touch those, please. And he's like, he looks over at Connor. He's like, got everything you need?
Always.
Hop on. Best friends forever. And so you get on there, and he's like, he's definitely not an adult dragon. He is kind of small, but he's big enough. He's what's a young dragon, like two, 3 horses? They're big.
Yeah, I think they're reasonably big. Yeah.
Yeah. They're big enough. So you hop on his back, and he takes off, and you get this weird feeling that normally people are more excited about riding a dragon. He's more excited about being on this mission, and he's more for the first couple seconds like wee. He's having a great time. He's like, don't worry, I'll take this serious. And as he gets aloft, he kind of switches on a little bit. He cracks his dragon net, and he's like, all right. And you can see that he's taking this path that goes like way south of the river, like towards where Greenest is. And as you start flying, you can see that there's a solid line, a demarcation line of where things just go completely barren beyond Elturel. And he flies he just dives super, super low to the ground. And you guys just start as he's traveling super low, he cuts back to the river. And he gets along the riverbank, and he's just pumping his wings as hard as he can. But you guys are along these banks, and then he cuts, south, follows another river. He stays really low underneath the trees, like he's been doing this forever. And you get the feeling that okay, this dude, this nut job, this brave dragon gets it. He's got this weird path that he's been taking for days and days and days to go get his fight on, right? And as he's traveling, you do notice on his back that he's got various even he has a few daggers and stuff like that tucked in. He's got things to keep himself alive, and he's got underneath his wings here is leather where there's various pouches and whatnot, and you don't even hear a jingle because he's learned that other dragons may have jingled, and he's got various paddings in between where he keeps all of his different potions. He cuts down the river. He will dart up just high enough and then dive down into another forest. Stay inside the forest. He darts up, coasts, along a plain until he just drifts and gets to the base of, where this mountain pass is. I think it's the Sunset Mountains. Inspiration? Tight. He gets there. He gets to the Sunset Mountains.
You're not allowed. The DM's not allowed inspiration. We've discussed this before.
Yeah. So he rolling hills that you've seen, and as you're traveling, there is a little gut. And he went from like this bro chatty guy, but he stops talking, and you can see a serious side to him that's inspiring to you. You're like, ooh, I hope this shit show doesn't like overdo it.
There's no shit show.
He's
This is all performance. This is all professional level grade stuff with it.
But you get it. Like he's coming into his prime. Like you're beginning to understand that this you get the right guy. Uh, you do notice that there are villages that are smoking, and then you see villages that aren't smoking anymore. And he's drifting through old towns that are long since sacked and barren and destroyed, whether it be fire or melted from acid or frozen. And he gets in confidently into the Sunset Mountains, and he's like, honestly, they don't even pay attention in here anymore. You'd think, you'd think that they would pay attention, but since these are mountains, they know that only infantry can walk from certain directions. And he goes and he dives. As you look up, like a adult green dragon just flies over your head, and he holds tight. He's like, kind of like looks at you to stay quiet.
I'm quiet.
Dives down the mountain. Keeps pressing. He's like, don't do anything. He's like, I've got this. And he careens towards a river and starts moving down the river. It keeps flapping, and from there, we'll pick it up. Pick it up next time, and what we'll call, what was this, Operation Send It? Operation Full Send.
We've now got to wait.
Operation Connor Drop.
3
Gotta
weeks
wait
for this to
3
happen.
Gotta wait 3 weeks, where you guys could just basically show up, and you guys are shopping while he's just dead. It's gonna be a very juxtaposition of what I'll do is like I'll go like 10 minutes of you guys shopping, and then like you know how like they do in movies where like in 10 minutes of like pure shit show, and like 10 minutes of like just violins, and you guys just having a great time like drinking coffee, and then we'll cut scene shit show.
It's not going to be a shit show. Look, we've got this.
You sure do. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Holy
Yeah.
cow!
So the end scene, he just dives, and like the ripping of the this river starts blasting over your face. But we'll end it there. Thanks for everybody for showing up. Thanks for the amazing subscription.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't even know how much that is, to be honest.
Huzzah!
So thank you, Zombie Batman. You're awesome.
Thanks for the inspiring speech. Thanks, Henry. Thanks for like 4 straight weeks of showing up. You know, everybody's got a job. Everybody's got things going on. Thanks, Manu, for crushing the director, producer, key grip extraordinaire on the other side, putting up maps and everything for us. So thanks a lot. We'll see you guys. Yeah, the weekend after the 12th, we'll pick it up for Operation Send It.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, follow us, subscribe, please. We love you all.
We got a YouTube.
Oh
we
yeah,
got YouTube as well.
Check us out on YouTube as well.
We got Twitters.
I'll be posting that right after this. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Happy Memorial Day.